Hello! Hello! It is time for LUTI tonight! We did start a
Yes.
little bit earlier tonight for it was still nighttime.
Yeah, still counts. It's dark outside.
It was we did LUTI tonight. What, 2 hours ago? We had some other friends on the mic here, but we are starting off again for a series of several games tonight. We've got Div 9, Div 1, Div 4, Div 2. We've got back-to-back games for LUTI tonight, but I'm here. I'm Rose of Battle, and I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Corn.
Thanks for being
Very,
here,
very
Corn.
excited to be here.
Yeah, because we're going to have a really fun game for us tonight. We are going to be watching Penultimate versus Sealy Inc. And we were talking earlier about how it is very funny. I did not say that I was going to, I would absolutely, put me in coach for this one. But
Yes.
my team is in the same group as these guys, and in fact, we did take the set from Penultimate last Sunday, so they're looking here to get their first win for this season of LUTI. Sealy Inc. Also familiar with some of the players there, as some of them go to Metro Inc. But we are headed into our first game. And our best of 9 for LUTI tonight, Div 9, Penultimate versus Sealy Inc.
And it is a big swig. That's so exciting.
Yeah, and this is also interesting because we did have the patch earlier, just a
Yes,
couple
it's
days
got
ago.
its buff. It's got its buff.
So we do have several things here that got a little bit of a buff. So we do already have the heavy edit going down. We've got
Roller managed to go to take two there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so far, things looking really, really fast here. It's just going to be a lot of back and forth, likely. We all know, starting off for zones, your entry is important, but if you aren't able to get the first points for zones, that is totally fine.
Yes, yes.
All right, Penultimate looking to get in, but they do unfortunately go down one, but one also goes down on the side of Sealy Inc. here. Sealy Inc. still holding on to this zone. They are down below 50, though.
Yes, that's a really good first push from them.
Yeah.
Zona's gone down.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, what's your most excited thing to see here?
Absolutely the big swig. Always expect to see
Yes.
any big swig play it.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
the
Yeah.
big swig.
Ori was able to get a really, really nice reef slider there, but unfortunately, two
Yes.
people are back down on Penultimate, and there's not a whole lot of time left for this
It
first
really
game.
isn't. Only 15 seconds left.
We're
Have
heading
a
into
super
that
and a
specials.
storm.
I don't. Do you think they're gonna get anything out of the?
I don't know, they're two
Those-
down. They could. Can the big swig
Maybe
take the
almost,
zone?
almost.
Oh, so close.
Just not able to
Almost
get
like
enough
that.
paint on that zone first for Mako zones. Mako zones can be really quick, like we just saw.
Yes, yes, it really can be.
It's a very, very aggressive map, and I think we just saw Sealy Inc. was doing a really good job holding onto that space there, and Penultimate was having such a hard time dropping in.
Yes, it's so difficult when they push up and take control of that left drop. It makes it so hard to get back in. You have to go all the way around the other side.
It is, yeah. Sometimes you just have to know, okay, never mind, we gotta rotate.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it can be just a series of just sadness over and over, and you're just like,
Yes.
okay, team, we're ready to drop. Oh crap, one of us died.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta wait. But we're moving on from zones for now into the second game, which will be Clam Blitz on Scorch Gorge. How do you feel about Scorch Clams, Corn?
I'm mixed on scorched clams. I like it in theory, but I don't like
I feel
playing
that. I feel that. Oh, we have lost our connection to the host.
Oh, no.
We'll get that figured out. We'll
Yeah.
get going shortly. But all good. And yeah, the Scorch Clams, you bring up a good point, because I'm also they're Scorch Gorge is kind of one of those things where I'm like, just the competitive stuff we see on Scorch Gorge tends to really just be Rainmaker and clams. So not even
Yes.
thinking about zones and tower, just those other two modes. It's like, okay, I like Scorch a lot when I win, and I really don't like it when I lose.
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, like what are your pain like areas of pain for you on Scorch where you're just like, oh my gosh, I hate that one area.
I think getting back in through spawn where they've got to. If you get knocked out, it's so hard to push back in up to that left side to get them out of there. It's so easy for them to pick you off of that upper left area. And if there's a bucket or a tri-slosher or something that can set up on that tower in mid, it could be a real pain.
Oh, that is true. I know my team certainly enjoys a good tri-slosher moment.
Yeah.
From my memory, having played against Penultimate, which does have a lot of players on their roster. So I remember looking at it and being like, I'm not okay. Who knows who's gonna play?
Yeah, this could be
like,
anything.
I have no idea.
Anything could happen right now.
They do, like, in general, we saw somebody on the Zap. They've got a mix of, midline. They've got some backline. I know they have a player who can run heavy edit, but also plays like Wiper. And I've seen a lot of people pick up Wiper again in lieu of the patch that dropped with
Yes, of course, it's hammer throw buff.
the hammer throw buff. But we also they also have a player who does dualies. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Penultimate wants to play aggressive. Sometimes it's hard getting the right timing for it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because especially we have like Kaba on that I believe played ballpoint in that Mako Zones game that we just watched. So can like really play like an aggressive, longer ranged weapon, but also like can hold spaces very well. You've also got the roller. Same player also plays decav. They've got a lot of like things that are aggressive, but I think also have really good holding power, and we got to see that in the last game.
Yes, they can get those bubbles in some aggressive places and hold that space.
Yeah, and love a good aggressive bubble, and they're, whether it be the roller or mint decav with that bubble, either way, they love to play aggressive and take space and hold it.
Yes, if they can get that up under the basket on Scorch, that could be pretty devastating.
Yeah, and like the thing with Scorch is that it often feels, especially on Rainmaker, but even in Clamps, it feels so swingy. It's always like, okay, don't trust that you've won this until you see knockout.
yes. Not one until the game's over. Anything can happen in Scorch.
Heading into game 2, Scorch Gorge Clams. Let's see, we've still got a big swig and the 10.
Big swig, got the 10.
Oh, we also
decaf, charcoal decav.
Yes, we've got inkjet instead of the bubbles. So that's interesting. We also still have that dread for Reef Slider. So yeah, I would not be surprised if Sealy Ink mostly just wants to poke in a lot and get kills and then push those clams forward. But the dualies are already down on the side of Penultimate. There's that Reef Slider. Oh, gets a trade, but
down, and that's 2 down.
Yeah, these are just initial engagements. We're only 30 seconds into the game, but the killer whale's coming out, just, chipping here, chipping there. They're killer whales, one of those specials that, like, I hate getting targeted by it. I'm like, stop.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, it's like, stop it. Right, Deagle is doing a really good job of holding this center area, poke it in. They want to start seeing if they can get a push in, but they don't have the clams for it yet.
By that crab tank too.
Yeah, those splat dualies from Penultimate. And, you see how many clams Penultimate has right now?
Yeah, they're so ready for this push if they can. Oh, down.
I know we cursed it.
Yeah, that's our fault. That's on us.
That's our fault. So we're back to a sort of neutral area. A lot of players just trying to stay alive, get those clams ready, because, you know, you can get all the kills in the world, but if you don't actually get those kills when you're ready to score, it doesn't do a whole lot.
It looks like they are, though.
Yeah, Sealy Inc. is now getting those clams, and they but the retake!
And takes them out.
The back and forth using Kaba was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Deagle able to use that killer whale to get some nice chip damage in, and Penultimate went down too, so they're gonna have to retake off of this, and it's gonna be slower.
Yeah, they may get another push right now, straight after. Oh, never mind. 2 go down.
Yeah, you know, like, and even though Sealy Inc. is playing a lot of neutral into aggressive right now, they did not get a huge score.
No, they weren't quite able to.
Yeah, but we do have Ori going in, popping the Reef Slider, but was only able to get the indirect in it for 70.
And they get a lot of pressure though. Oh,
yeah, but there's
only
one person alive, and they're down.
They still get the basket open. Can they really capitalize off of this though?
Yeah, they've got the clams. Yeah, the clams are spawning in. That's always really, really convenient. Like, oh, emergency clams, thank you. Oh, okay, so we have both teams here. This is a retake area that can be really frustrating on Scorch.
It can, yeah. Especially with a decaf and a dread being able to poke up with that ramp. It can be really difficult to push past them.
Yeah, we do have the crab tank ready. We've got Big Swig using special. We've got looking like another score. Deagle goes down though while scoring, but the Reef Slider.
Gets one. That tent.
Those tent shields are my worst nightmare when playing Dread.
Oh, absolutely.
And you see, we were talking about that previous, push on the basket. Not like they only got to 68, but they're all the way down to 31 now.
Yeah, they've really continued to put this pressure on them.
Yeah, so, I know. Watching this here, what do you think Penultimate needs to do to start getting their push ready in the last minute?
I think they need to start taking up more space, try and take top mid if they can, which looks like they're trying to do, but they haven't been able to, and they've gone 2 down again.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Ooh, yeah, these marks are helpful, at least, letting people know where they are. But again, this killer whale coming out, it just works really well with this team. Deagle's ready to get another power clam.
Going in, and
they do, and that's creating some space.
And that's another score from them.
And everybody goes down, except Kaba. But the cavalry has arrived. They are scoring. There's not that many clams left.
It's not. 4 more and they can win this.
They could end it.
Oh, they're jumping in with 4. Oh.
But going down. That Big Swig just went.
Here.
Big Swig smash.
We'd love to see it. Love to see it.
I'm ready for Big Swig stocks to go up.
Absolutely.
So we do have, going into overtime, they've got 2 power clams. They're going to need to make a huge push here. Yeah, this is going to be really difficult to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
this is
tent now. Can they?
Rough retake.
Yeah.
Having experienced this on Scorch Gorge, I feel it. Sometimes
we've all been there on this map.
Yeah, there are sometimes on Scorch Gorge it feels like I can't get into mid. Yeah, because like you said, like holding that top middle area on that tower structure is so nice when you're just, holding space.
Yes, especially with something like that Tri-Stringer that can fire those AoE shots like so far from there, behind the snipe, all the way up to the basket, can really support from so far away.
Yeah, really difficult. And you know what? They've played 2 games now. Penultimate can sort of like look back, what were the particular things we were struggling with here. and try to recalibrate. Because like that is the nice thing about LUTI sets being best of 9.
Yes, definitely. You have time to rethink things, find counters to the things that you're struggling to deal with. Hopefully, be able to make a good comeback.
Yeah. I mean, here at LUTI, we love seeing game 9s. I know there were a lot last week. Always fun to see. We're moving on into tower control ship shape, which I don't know. I don't know if many people who love tower control ship shape, but I think a lot of people are just sort of like they've resigned themselves to the fact that they will be playing on it.
Yeah. It's fine. It's there.
It exists.
No, it's flawed, but it's fine.
Yeah, and it's like, ship shape is, I think, a tough one if you are not really going all in together, especially on the retake, because it is so easy to get stuck.
Yeah. They can push up so quickly, so far up under the, if they get an AoE under the plat, to be able to control that area, it can be very hard to retake.
Yeah, and it's like, you'll start, the tower, when you're pushing it forward, immediately goes left. And so, a lot of people are going to be entering from that area. And if you clear that checkpoint, but you don't already have eyes over in mid, pushing into their court, it's like, okay, well, now we got to spend the extra time trying to push that tower through that mid area. And then if you're trying to do the retake and you're just like, oh gosh, I need to hold like our top left before I drop, and oh my gosh, I can't get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ship shape and Scorch both feel like maps where it's just like, oh gosh, I don't want to drop. This is scary. I don't want to do this. Just like, hold my hand, teammates. Let's go.
Yes. Stick together. We can get this. We can get through this. The good maps are coming up.
Yeah, and just like, so it will be interesting to see if this one goes really fast, because it's like Scorch, sometimes it's a really quick KO, but sometimes it plays out that whole 5 minutes with just like a team trying to just hold the tower around that third checkpoint.
Yeah, because that last little bit, pushing through the check, through that trench to get those last few points could be really tricky unless you get like a full wipeout.
Yeah, and that's also why it is like so important to not have your team wipe on this map mode.
Oh yes.
So it's like,
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, this is a small map. They're gonna move fast.
Yeah.
But what are the weapons that you like to see played on TC ship shape, whether watching other people play or yourself playing?
I would always go for a blaster. I think having that AoE is so important on a map like this, and a mode like this.
Yeah. I mean, blasters and tower control, they're just like...
They go hand in hand.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
They're like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, something to really skirmish in that court area as well. It's a lot of like flat space. Something to really take up attention in there.
Yeah.
Dualies on both sides could do.
Yeah. Kava switching off of those longer range options to play the splat dualies, which is interesting.
Yeah, they get an early pick. Oh, 3 early picks.
That's 3 down on penultimate. That's not a full wipe, but that's
not quite. They didn't
close
get
to it.
Didn't get the edit, which means they are going to be coming back in with cooler, hopefully.
It's true that it's very, very important that the edit stayed alive on penultimate. Make sure to have special for teammates, and you do see that is out.
Yeah.
These dualies trying to take up space here. They have cleared that first checkpoint for Sealing Ink so far. Able to get a nice pick. They get a double!
Can they get the crab?
Oh, they're harassing. Oh,
they definitely invalidated it there.
They did, even just like holding the crab there to be like, sorry, your crab doesn't get to do anything. That was huge. I don't know. We're seeing Penultimate have some more fire now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking it. We have another crab tank out. Kava, Kava then the one to try to shut it down, but
not quite able to. Or the decaf might though. Oh, they don't.
That's a nice double there. And plus is still poking.
Yeah.
And they do.
Still going. Can they move that strike trigger?
Throwing out the strikes. Yeah, they clear out that space. Do they see that they're moving into court? Do they see Evergreen?
Oh,
I don't know. No. I think it was too late. You always like. I always underestimate how much range a decab has until they lunge at me, and I'm like, oh no.
And then you're dead.
My life's in danger.
We are now already taking up a lot of space here.
They are, and I'm liking the dually v dually action, and we saw a really nice crab tank earlier from Plus. Sealy Inc. able to invalidate this one, and they're pushing up. They're onto that second checkpoint, and they're pushing through. They've almost cracked it.
Almost.
Can they do it? And
They can. Oh, the big trick goes down.
They're winning these fights, so they might be able to push it through.
Can the dualies take it?
Oh! Plus is pushing them away.
They're still there, though. There's still two of them there. 3 points away.
They do it.
Oh, they just do it. They just manage.
We saw some good plays from Penultimate, though.
We did.
Yeah, I think it was just, struggling to take space there.
Yeah.
But, the dually versus dually.
Amazing. Love to watch that.
Did both these teams know that I love dualies? Y'all, did you do this for me? There's just like weaving around from Plus was so good. Just doing dually things of trying to just like sustain and stay alive while being aggressive. It's I don't know. It's hard to stay alive on dualies despite having rolls. It's just it
is. That ending lag can be brutal sometimes.
It can, and you just want to like bum rush forward and be like, look at me, look at me, look at me. Don't look at my teammates. And yeah, I think we saw Penultimate taking some really critical fights and winning them, but just things snowballed there as they often do on Ship Shape Tower. So moving into Game 4, what do we have up next, Corn?
We have Museum Rainmaker.
Yeah. Although I say that, but I hate playing on this map mode.
You hate Museum Rainmaker? Oh my word! Oh.
I do. It just stresses me out. I don't think it's a bad mode. Fair. It just stresses me out.
It's a stressful one. It's hard. It can be tricky to retake on this one.
Yeah, and I think Penultimate's really been struggling on the retake.
Yeah, it does seem like it. Although if they can do more of what they did that match, a little bit more aggression, they might be able to take this set back.
Maybe do a little reverse sweep action. We always love seeing that. Never count them out.
Never.
Yeah. So after Rainmaker, we will have then been through all of our modes. But for Rainmaker specifically, it's such like tower control. You're putting yourself in extreme danger by doing the objective. So it's really important to know when can we push the objective.
Definitely. You've really got to secure that advantage against the other team.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just like you're broadcasting a signal to the world, being like, hey, look at me. I have the Rainmaker, or I'm on the tower.
Yeah.
There's no hiding.
Please don't throw bombs at me.
Or me diving around tower on tower control. I'm just like, don't snipe me, please don't snipe me, don't snipe me. Please miss.
Hoping the Zuka gets some kind of weird collision on the pole in the middle.
Pole, please save my life. But at least, the Rainmaker, at least, sometimes it can be really nice as somebody with like less range to, if you have a lot of short range players, to grab that Rainmaker and be like, I have range.
Yeah, sounds like that extra AoE can come in really handy.
It can. And we have the brush.
What a paintbrush, an octobrush, and a well string.
We do.
And double end parries.
Yeah. Oh, very
End parries
interesting.
too often.
Yeah. We did get that a little bit of a painting buff to end parries special for Splashdown. That's already a wipeout. That's already a wipeout. That's an easy first check for Sealy Ink.
Yeah.
And you see that well string
really quickly with this defense.
Yeah, you knew exactly. That quick pop. And Sealy Ink able to get out that tactical cooler, so they can play pretty aggressively here. We've got the dueling, the dueling splashdowns. Neither able to take each other with the splashdown. Oh, no. But Plus did clean that up.
Yeah, very clean retake there.
Yeah, I love seeing opponents use the same special at each other at the same time.
Oh, it's so fun. Do that with an 8-chat, have an 8-chat battle, amazing.
Oh my god, yes. Those are the most fun to watch. Silent, able to start, he gets a nice Rainmaker kill. They do have player advantage.
Down already, yeah.
Oh, but going down to the well string and that buffed hammer.
They take it out,
Yeah, it's not a free check. They do still have to fight for it, but this is a great time to take space, especially now that the sword went down, 2 down on the side of Sealy Ink. It's a third!
Take down 2!
They're ready. They're trying to get that pop. I know, but Sealy Ink able to out-pop them there.
Yeah.
They have that well string.
It's unfortunate, yeah.
Yes, they will not be getting lead here just yet, but we did have a DC, which was very unfortunate. I can't tell if our team's deciding just to play it out. No, okay. There we go. Oh, okay.
That is unfortunate.
Oh, yes, and as mentioned, Penultimate has a lot of players. I think they also were hoping to swap out and in players, and I think it just was communicated too late. Yeah, I don't know if that was like an internet issue or something else. But we'll head on into this one. But what a really, we only saw about less than 2 minutes, but it was nice. 2 minutes.
It was a good match. Yeah. It was 2 minutes. It was very even that time.
Right? Yeah, that was good. So I believe they're gonna replay this. But assuming they do, that was a fun one. And I hope this replay is just as strong. It's like, oh yeah. The Rainmaker versus Hammer is always so scary. I'm like, oh god, don't come near me.
Yeah, as a blaster player, I know the fear of Hammer very, very well.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of the hammer throws yet. We're still seeing, even like when I was playing earlier today, I still saw a lot of people mostly using the rush mode, which is fair. I die to enemies rush mode for hammer often enough.
Oh, yeah.
Right, going into our replay. Yeah, you just run it back.
With a ZNF charger. Oh.
Do Penultimate, do we know what? There's 3 people there. Are they okay? Are we might just have to replay again. You know what? It's things be happening here.
Yeah.
It's a Friday night.
Yeah.
So while they figure that out, there we go. There we go. We've got all the players in now.
Love a Nintendo Online moment.
Yeah, I was having so many issues with connectivity during a scrim immediately following the patch on Wednesday night. And I was like, really, Nintendo?
Oh no.
Right? I'm just like, Nintendo, we just want to play the silly Squid Game. We just want to get our practice.
They broke the game.
Hammer's so strong that it will kill your internet connection too. Always an amusing time. But yes, should Sealy Inc. take this one, they'll be looking to get their match point on the game after this one, which we go back to zones, going on to Mahi, which is similar to Mako Mart in that they both start with M.
Yes. And A, and with an A as well.
Yeah, that's right. They both start with Ma. And they both are, again, like those like heavy committal maps that you have to drop with your full team on a retake when you're ready. Otherwise, it's a knockout. And it's also like it's not over until the knockout or the time runs out.
Absolutely. It's very cheesable.
Yeah.
Not a big zone. A well-timed reef slider, strikes, even a splashdown now after the buffs.
Yeah, we do have some of those specials. We have seen all of those.
Yeah.
We've had, we just saw Ed Perry's, so we had that triple splash jump on both teams. Sealy Inc. has that Dread player with the reef slider. I think we also saw a strikes weapon from them. So yeah, there are options. There are ways of playing that.
But you've got to be ready to take advantage of that zone flip. It's one thing to flip it and get some penalty points, but if you're not in the lead, they're just going to take that zone back and you're not going to get any progress.
Yeah, like with zones and clam blitz, you see, and I really, my coach blew my mind last night telling us about this. Where they're so like if I sound smart, I'm just saying what my coach said. But that like they're both like zones and clams are both very heavy on sustaining and holding space and trying to prolong that push for as long as you can, because yeah, just like the quick back and forths don't really net you a whole lot of points at all, because you got to get through those penalties.
Yeah, I mean, in clams, you may not get any points at all. And then you just end up giving them a pity clam, giving them an advantage.
Yeah, you always got to be careful of those. All right, so we're waiting to see what they're figuring out here. Yeah. But I believe we're heading back in here in just a second. And it looks like we've got Silent, K, Myaiden, and Easy in for this upcoming game, I believe, from Penultimate, off of their very large roster.
Large roster with a lot of different weapons.
Yeah. What's they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on the roster already, with the maximum being 8. So yes, lots of swapping in and out.
Lots of swapping, a lot of options.
Yeah, whereas like we're seeing Sealy Inc. Play mostly similar sort of things. We saw Kaba sort of like switch between ballpoint, but also decav. Evergreen plays decav and roller.
Yeah, it's an interesting pair of weapons, ballpoint and decav. You don't see many ballpoint decav players, I think.
Yeah. All right, third time's the charm. We got this.
Recycle umbrella this time.
Yeah, that is an interesting pick.
Yeah, also a really buff weapon.
It did get that buff recently, So we'll see how it fares here in Easy's hands. But the cheeky Rainmaker pickup, but not able to get through past that well
Not
string.
quite.
It was a cheeky idea, but it did not pay off. See that hammer coming out, rushing down. Jason gets a pick.
Can they take him?
The hammer throw? They get that indirect, but not enough to get a pick. And we are sort of back to neutral now, but that is a quick Rainmaker pop.
Oh, that's 2 down on the side of penultimate. 3 down. Oh, and a wipeout.
That wipeout is going to be really tough. Yeah, things are looking a little rough. They're going to have to paint up this. Ori playing really aggressive on these dualies this time. But I don't... Okay, I was going to say, I don't know if their push is over, but pretty sure it's over.
Might be. They still up there on that top left. They're doing very
They
good.
are. I hope they don't leave the Rainmaker totally unattended.
Oh, it's stalled out there a little bit longer, but they have dealt with them.
They did. Oh, but at least Recycle Brella was able to push 2 people off and take 1 out, so that gives penultimate just like a little bit of time to breathe. It's like we're waiting for the Rainmaker to reset, but the hammer coming out.
Oh, the brush can take out 2 here though.
Wow. Yeah, Brush can be so. I think Octobrush is a really difficult weapon to play well, and when you play it well, you get so much value out of it.
Yeah, definitely. It can be scary having an Octobrush pop out from a shocking spot on you.
Yeah, the Recycle Brella too. Like it is not an easy weapon to play.
No, absolutely not.
So you just unlike a lot of the other Brellas, you don't really have much of a shield.
No. Oh, that is. Oh, the hammer takes them down.
Robbed by the hammer. Yeah, they do so 3 up, but all of Sealing Ink is there. They were not able to drop it. Just kidding.
Still, those dualies. Can they deal with them? They can. They might get checkpoint here.
Yeah. Do you think they got it?
They got it.
Do you think they can sustain this? It's just the dualies there.
They're 2 down. They could.
Oh, I was just waiting for this hammer throw at the charger, but able to stay alive there. Easy on this Brella. I'm really impressed.
Really aggressive, yeah. The splashdown ready. It's going to be difficult to approach them.
If they keep this painted and are able to keep people back, I would not count out penultimate. They could take the lead here. It looks like they're swimming up the side here. I don't think they can make that jump to do that really cheeky thing, but they get a kill. But the arrows.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, but they grab it. They're running.
They take the lead.
Let's go.
They've just got to maintain this now.
Yeah, but that splashdown coming down, threatening them, not able to get a pick, but able to push them away. Silent holding here on that charger. The hammer's thrown out, but not able to move anybody back. Sealy Ink might be panicking now.
Might be. Okay, they've managed to push them off flat.
Yeah, getting those 2 picks was really, really big. That charger's trying to hold space, but there's only so much you can do when you're a charger alone.
There's a shocking Octobrush just waiting for them to swim past. Oh, and they got him.
There it is. Sneaky, sneaky Octobrush.
Yeah.
But there's 30 seconds left. They Sealy Ink could take this back. But the Octobrush able to take out Kaba. Ori on these dualies getting hit. Teamwork makes the dream work. They're able to take that down, but it's 1 down on both sides. And we only have 10 seconds to go.
They're going to have to make a run for it here if they want to get this win.
The hammer's coming out, throwing specials are coming down. How?
This Brella takes out 2.
This Brella!
Wow.
Oh my gosh!
Really impressive Brella gameplay. They blocked the hammer shot there. That was amazing.
Because that's really hard to do on Recycle Brella. See, that shield's
Yeah.
only out for a very short while, unlike all the other Brellas.
Really
Just
impressive.
Easy's Brella pick here, that is why I say, if sometimes, everybody might say, oh, this weapon's terrible, that it's like not viable at all and competitive. And you're just like, I don't know, in the right hands, and if your team enables you, I feel like anything can work if it's practiced.
Yep. Yep.
And Penultimate did not give up. You said like it was such a fight to get that checkpoint for them at first.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. This might be the start of their. Well, not quite reverse sweep, but almost reverse sweep.
Yeah, maybe we can hope. So they're holding off Steely Inc. for a little while longer. If they're able to keep that momentum going into Mahi zones, like we were talking about earlier. Mako zones did not go well for Penultimate.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see what they do going into Mahi, which is similar to Mako.
Yeah. I wonder if they stick with Recycle Brella here.
Yeah, I cannot
Considering how well
with
it
that
works, man.
with that Brella. They were so good. Just like being able to control your space with a shield that's up for a fraction of a second, just being like bonk. I will block your hammer for a moment, and I will somehow like avoid the splashdown and everything else being popped my way. I'll just live. Because like when you think about Brellas, they're really good stall weapons, but you wouldn't normally think the recycles are particularly stally.
Yeah, not so much. Not so much.
Really aggressive, but we did see Ori over on the side of Sealy Inc. on that Dreadringer earlier, and
Yes.
they've been killing it on the dualies, but I would not be surprised. Oh wait, we don't have Ori.
Okay.
We all stare in silence like, what's
playing
happening?
Is there a DC we didn't know about in the last one?
They said we did y'all see enough of Museum Rainmaker yet?
We need a third one. We need it a third time.
All right, I'll give them a second to select the correct map and mode here going into
Yes.
Mahi zones. And it really is just one of those modes where, like, obviously paint is always important on zones, and always holding forward is important on zones, but you also want to make sure that, I think sometimes people get a little too overheated on Mahi zones and push in way too deep.
Yeah, they can do. And if you're playing something like a brush, you can kind of do that, but not always. Doesn't always work out.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. But no, I swear, y'all, we're not. It's not all museum tonight. We swear.
I wouldn't mind it. I'm okay with it.
Well, Mahi zones is my personal favorite.
Yeah, that's fair. It is a good one. It's a classic one.
It's so fun. I feel like people are starting to come around on it. I think some of this is just people like with Ship-Shape Tower just being like, okay, fine, I've played it enough times. I will begrudgingly be okay with playing on it.
Yeah.
Like, I guess we just live here.
Yeah, if the zone wasn't quite as cheesable as it is, I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah, there are a lot of things for cheesing zones, especially the reef slider. So I'll be interested to see if we see slider. Do we have a Dread? Nope, we don't have Ori. Yep,
We do have an incline tri-stringer though.
we do. Yeah, Deagle's still
Not
on that
understandable.
tri-stringer, but yeah, now with the Trumps version.
Yeah.
They also have Kaba switching to back to Nautilus here. I say back to because I've totally seen Kaba play Nautilus against me before. It does have that rain, which can be really nice.
Yeah, definitely. We've still got that recycled Brella on the side of Penultimate.
Yep, and the best friends are deployed, exploding. But here comes the splashdown. Evergreen
Splashdown
barely avoiding it, but easy.
Just the Brella. They take out two. Oh.
Oh.
The third.
Oh.
Two was great there.
Yeah, man. It would have been so good to get that kill and not get wiped, but
yeah.
Oh, still at least able to, like, you know, take out somebody with you. But yeah, the hard part is gonna be dropping in on this retake. But 3 people go down on the side of Sealy
They
Inc.
get the wipeout.
Wipeout. They said, Rose, be quiet. We're retaking. Zipcaster coming out here. Can we get anything with it?
Get him early. Oh, not quite. Holds them back a little bit though.
Oh, yeah, just, you know, the fire rate of that Nautilus is terrifying.
Scary. Okay,
absolutely terrifying. Evergreen, yeah, throughout those strikes, they are able to cap the zone. They still have that lead at 50. Small lead right now. Both teams have a fair amount of penalty points to go through, but 2 go down on the side of Penultimate.
Get that ZNF charger hiding up on there.
Yeah,
like
you know, if you
they got out.
Yeah, and you're right to like look at that charger because if you let a charger get set up on this map, they've got the most range in this game.
Yeah, it'd be tricky to come back from.
Strike's coming out.
They can splash down the dome.
Let's go! Let's go!
They take out one.
Oh, but there's so many people looking at easy. Oh. And Sealy Inc. is through their penalty points, but are they gonna flip the zone?
Sealy Inc. Get back from this.
They still have it. We've got less than 10 ticks to go. It's gonna be really tough for Penultimate to paint that over in time.
Yeah, stop his try. Oh, they get it.
They do it. It's not over.
1 second.
they do nearly wipe out here in the process, but they bought themselves.
Out.
Yeah, they bought themselves like half a minute.
Yeah. They can retake in that time. It's very possible. They just gotta build up some specials.
Yeah, that is gonna be important here. Yeah, you see the specials coming out. Zipcaster, we've got a splashdown online as well from Penultimate. Evergreen trying to paint them over, able to get a kill there. It's gonna be really big for Sealy Inc. But the splashdown comes down!
Splashdown takes it, and they get the zone. Get the zone, they're moving in, taking some space.
Yeah, now we want to see like Penultimate playing, yeah, you know, aggressive here, but not overly aggressive. But
they get the wipeout.
You know, it's Mahi zones ain't over until it's over.
Nope, absolutely not. I think that Brush hiding up there on Plat was able to just take them all out.
Yeah, we've got the ZF charger set up now. Brush was taken out, but if they can just get the paint on the zone to keep holding this, but it looks like Sealy Inc. is ready. They're ready. They don't quite have it, but this is going back and forth. Penultimate still, they lose. It does flip. That doesn't mean they're necessarily out, but going 3 down here with a minute to go is going to be tough.
Yeah. But they did it once. They can do it again.
They did. They need to get the specials ready. Hopefully they can have their charger set up in a good position to enable others to go in. Zap going down. And the Brella. But the strikes, they're not going to be enough. The charger can't paint on their own.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
But this stalling in at 1.
Oh. You love to see that. That's the most exciting thing that can happen in a Zones game.
I think my favorite feeling is stopping an opponent with 1 point left on Mahi zones in particular, and then taking it to a knockout.
Oh, yeah. And inversely, also the worst feeling to be on the other side of that.
It is.
To get so close and then lose it right at the end. But a really strong game from Sealy Inc. there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, those strikes were just not going to be enough to paint the zone. You see, like, all 4 people on Sealy Inc. ready to respond, and they all have, like, a pretty decent paint options. So, yeah,
they
pretty
definitely
easy
do,
to paint
yeah.
over that. Oh, really, really tough, though. But penultimate, they showed fight.
Yes, definitely, definitely. They're a different team than who they were on the first couple games. They've really, really like they're really taking it back, taking up some space,
Yeah.
scoring those points.
Yeah, and if they can sort of keep this up but fine-tune some things going into Bar Nickel.
Here we go.
I'm just staring at chat. I will never stop chuckling to myself whenever I see the Barnacle misspelled with an I. And I feel like at this point we're all just like nope, it's just a tradition now over here at Splatoon tourney. What's spelling? But you see Sealy Inc. sitting at 4 game wins in our best of 5.
Yep. They could take it right here. If they have a game like they did on Scorch. They could do like they did there.
Yeah, they did do that knockout over on Scorch Clams, so if they're able to end this one in a knockout over on Barnacle Clams, which is also a very aggressive map you don't want to wipe on, and it can be difficult to retake if you're staggering a lot.
Absolutely. The pit of death.
Yes.
Where that clam basket is. It's a scary place.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about how we saw Penultimate do a good job on that crucial retake over on the Mahi Zones game we just saw. And I think it was because they had specials ready, and they just need to make sure they're going in together as a team with all of their resources.
Yes, yes.
But we've seen some really strong plays from Easy's Brella, switching to a different one this time. We've got that Zuka tent.
Umbrella. Zuka's pretty strong on this map. I can see that working out for them.
It is with that like little bit of a nerf. It does make sure you got to be much better at aiming your Zukas now.
Yes, it does.
Too difficult for me.
Behind cover anymore in 2 shots.
We've got players on both sides going down. Shimo getting ready for clams. That's a lot of clams in the hands of Sealy Inc. right now. But that tactical are coming online for Penultimate. They're hoping to hold Sealy Inc. back here. The last thing they want is for them to get a ton of points scored in this first minute.
Yeah, it looks like they're just about managing to hold them off.
But this might
around that plant is still a bit scary.
Yeah, they haven't quite taken it back just yet. And the brush going down, and they're able to...
That's unfortunate.
They've got another power clam.
And a bubble set up too. Can they get it in?
Oh, they get it in despite the Zuka.
Oh,
that feels rough.
with the decaf still down there. Okay, they take the decaf out. That's good.
Silence holding ground here. Oh, you see
no.
the clams flying. Just like, please connect to the basket. Not quite. Those strikes coming out now. Deagle backing up. Providing those crucial jumps back in for the rest of the team. And 2 people go down on Penultimate again, showing it's tough to retake on here.
Rush. Yeah. Already back under the basket. Are they going to be able to jump that power climb in? They might be playing it a little safer.
Yeah. They are down at 51. And we still have 3 minutes left. Plenty of chances for Sealy Inc. to get more points in and whatnot. Of course, like, really, really important to only take these pushes in. Oh my god.
Whoa. Amazing move to the ends up there.
Oh my gosh. Really important to take these pushes in only when people are ready to score off of them, but it's battle for mid control, and one goes down on the side of Sealy Inc. and 2.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But they still have gold.
3 going down on the side
Can
of
the Brush
Penultimate.
survive? Oh, that's an unfortunate jump there. They may get a score here.
Yeah, looks like they're good on Sealy Inc. immediately moving up and seeing like, oh, we just did a staggered wipe. Let's move in off of that.
They do need to get more in here to get some more points, and they get another power clam.
Yeah, it's down to 35. Zuka coming in, trying to push them away.
Yeah.
Not able to get a pick there. Shipping people off of that tent. The rest of the team able to follow up on that. But that's a lot of points to have to score through on Penultimate side now.
They're going to really need to take some control back.
It is going to be tough, and I don't. Do you think now at this point, Sealy Inc. after taking that last win on Mahi Zones, now they're just like Sealy Inc.'s feeling it. They're excited. They're just like, oh, we feel the Game 5 win.
Yeah, they've got a lot of momentum now.
They do, and at this point, they just have to play a good defense.
Yep.
That is the advantage of getting, that initial really good clams push in, or initial 2 good clams pushes in, and then all you got to do is play defense and not play risky.
Yeah, but they can't get too complacent. It can be quite easy to do that on the clams game, and suddenly they sneak their way through.
Yeah, especially on Barnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem will be getting into mid here.
Are they going to be able to knock out here? They're so close. 2 clams away.
Yeah, they're not holding any other clams right now. They're running back, grabbing those clams, but they're not going to get there in time to throw them into the baskets. That's going to sit at 5 for now.
It's going to take at least another push to let them knock out here.
Yeah, and that's if they want to knock out. Always good to push in on that space if you feel like it's, you're going to get that knockout. But if you're not, sometimes it's just like, okay, well, let's just keep threatening a push, but not actually go in.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, they can just run around, take all the clams, and stop Penultimate from being able to make more power clams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got less than 10 seconds left to go. They do have a power clam ready on the side of Sealy Inc., but they are
do have a
in the
numbers
lead so
advantage.
far. Yes, Penultimate
didn't push their way there.
They got their penalty, their pity clam, but they're blitzing through. They're blitzing through. The strikes come out, trying to create some space, thrown in the play.
The zip comes out. They take out 2. Oh, it's just
do.
After.
Oh!
That's unfortunate. I don't think the ends up.
Yeah, I don't think we had any jumps in.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, not any jumps in, and overtime is gonna end there. The game and set win going to Sealy Inc. for their week 2 game in Division 9A.
Yeah, a really, really strong showing from Sealy Inc.
Yeah, and we saw some good fights from them. Sometimes it's just really hard to get the coordinated pushes down. But we saw that the Brella gaming?
The Brella was definitely a highlight.
Oh my gosh. I was not expecting to see a recycle Brella tonight.
No, me neither. I saw a lot of weapons today that I didn't think we'd see.
Yeah. And it's always really exciting when you see somebody like really shining on an unconventional weapon. So you're just like, yes, let's go, besties, get them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Congratulations to Sealy Inc. They are moving in. They are now, I believe that makes their record 2-0. Penultimate now 0-2 for Group A of Division 9A. Oh, there's my team. My team's in there. There. We've got our own game on Sunday night.
Ooh, who are you playing on Sunday?
We are playing the top seed of Division 9A. We'll be playing against Driftide.
Wow.
So that'll be fun. And like the nice thing about LUTI is that I mean, like it's really stressful if you lose your first couple of sets because then you're like, oh, it's gonna be really tough to make playoffs now. But I think as long as you're not having a terrible time, it can be really fun just to like sit back and learn.
Yeah, definitely. And you meet so many great teams doing it too.
Yeah.
You get so many potential scrim partners.
Yeah. So that'll be it for us, but not for LUTI tonight. This was just our first set of several incoming games here. Coming up next will be Division 1, Bonsai against Bulldog Warriors. Where can the lovely people find you on the internet, Corn?
You can find me on Blue Sky under Corn Mills, probably. Corn Mills with a Z. Sometimes on Twitch under Corn Mills with a Z. Very, very occasionally.
Excellent. And I'm Rose of Battle. You can find me over on Blue Sky, Twitch, YouTube, all the various places. Is just find me, Rose of Battle. Thank you again to the Division 9 teams who played tonight. Can't wait to see more Recyclebrella coming at everybody. And I hope you all stay tuned for our next set. Don't go anywhere.
We've had plenty of great Splatoon locals that took place in 2024, spanning all across the United States. Champions have been crowned from coast to coast, the Great Lakes, and the South. These winners, however, never had an opportunity to face each other. What if in 2025, we took this to the next level? Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown, a tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament. The best part is, you have an opportunity to play. In the early months of 2025, 8 locals will act as qualifiers for the LAN Championship Showdown, including Big Dapple in New York City, New York.
The game!
Bouillabaisse in San Jose, California. Chai Shoals in Chicago, Illinois.
Pretty hard though. Yeah, just like that.
Gatorland in Gainesville, Florida.
It's just, it's a wipeout, and that might be
8 points.
H-Town Splashdown in Houston, Texas. New England in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, they fell off the. Oh my God!
Sea Battle in Seattle, Washington.
It's a wipeout.
Sunset Surge in Arizona. Win at one of these locals, you get an automatic bid to participate in the LAN Championship Showdown in April 2025, streamed on Splatoon Tourney. Be on the lookout for advertisements from the local closest to you regarding their qualifier. Who will come out on top?
This has been Sunset Surge 2024. This has been the most hype I've ever been in a long time. Well, I'm happy to hear, man. I'm happy to hear.
Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown. A tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
I think they get it. Oh, that's the game. That's monkey. Oh my God.
Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown, a tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
Kick down the clock, all 4 of them alive.
1, that's
picks.
it. But one behind the duel, can they get something too?
The best part is, you have an opportunity to play.
Oh!
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 That's
all the marbles! Where
Santos. Oh my god. Oh!
Oh, it's a lot of control. He might just get it here. They
allowing them to take the lead.
Barely.
You're gonna get blocked by the
You gotta go! No!
It's up to Red to recap the zone all on her own. And they get
Just
it.
like welcome back.
Nobody's
Goes
got the
down the
cap.
zip caster gets 2.
He gets 2.
Who will come out on top? Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown, a tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
And the tri-strike take 2. With Kronos coming in and following up with the 3rd. That is the wipeout going with 10 seconds left to go.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to a very special edition of LUTI Tonight. We were going to give you guys a Div 1 match. Unfortunately, you all have not been good little boys and girls this year, so Santa is not going to be giving you a Div 1 match. Instead, we're going to add a 0 onto that one. We're going to dip into the middle of a Div 10 match. Nox, what is the name of the teams we're going to be looking at?
We've got the Sleepy Squids and the Faded Squid Society. Admittedly, I don't think either of us know much about these teams or these players. So it'll be an adventure. We'll all be learning together.
The Faded Color Society. What kind of jumps out to you with a team name like that?
You know, I'd imagine they run lower ink comps if they're not having as much color around. Maybe they've got a Luna Blaster in there. People have been using that occasionally lately, sort of, probably.
And shout out to both of these teams for having actual logos that seem to make sense. Look at that little sweepy squid over there. Is that a penguin? No, it's a Shamu doll that is cuddling up with.
Incredible.
A killer whale.
Now, I do believe it is factual that all sea mammals are extinct in the Splatoon universe. But we can ignore that. They can have their little Shamu plush. They can know what a killer whale is.
Wait, is that for real? There's no...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't the whole point of the campaign that mammals have come back?
No, I said sea mammals.
Oh, sea mammals. That's right.
I think we've just never seen any, and we've seen a lot of other sea creatures, and that's the thought process. We have... you know, they do have a Luna. I'm just gonna say they do have a Luna. In case you've ever wondered what happens when commentators are losing it a little bit, this is it.
Oh my.
Oh my.
I wonder if they... Well, I don't really know what to expect out of that. I don't know if somebody was in the wrong room or something, and they were just like, well, let's just use some weapons. But also,
it's the wrong map.
It was the wrong map. Okay, so there's a... Also, this is the middle of the set right now. Sleepy Squids is currently up 2-0 over the Faded Color Society. As we get a nice replay of them realizing it's the wrong map and setting...
I believe that this is also not the first time they've done this set even. It is the second time this set, we've been told. Which... Splatoon players are... Y'all are great, but also... so interesting.
Well, look, to be fair, they were in the middle of playing their set, just kind of doing their own thing. And then all of a sudden, hey, do you want to be on Splatoon Tourney? Not, Splatoon Tourney 0. Like, the main channel. And sure, like...
Also, there was an all caps hi wanna be streamed, and all caps give us content.
Well, hopefully things work out for both of these teams. Faded Color Society... is 0-1 coming into this set. The Sleepy Squids are 1-0. Sleepy Squids coming in with a wipe, 5-0 win against... I was just looking it up. Who did they beat? They beat Wyvern Heart Ignition. Of course.
Interesting. Yeah, those are normal team names. And there's
also a team that has a logo as well. Div 10 actually has like some character to their team stuff here.
Look, something I will always give to newer and lower level teams is they are so much better at branding. And that has been true for all of Splatoon's history and probably will never change ever.
Yes. You always have the artist that is a part of the team who does a lot of things for you. It is kind of
there hasn't been another Wiggly Phantom, sadly.
No, not as far as like that kind of content creation is going. Hey, we are on a different map now. We are on Ship Shake at Tower Control, and the weapons that we are going to be seeing. So yes, we are rolling with this. That is the Wellstringer, Brush, Luna Blaster, and Dynamo. That is a Respawn Punisher brush, mind you, in a Thermal Ink Luna Blaster. So that brush is looking for blood.
They absolutely are. And out of Sleepy Squids, we have, honestly, a pretty standard looking comp. Nothing wild there. They've got their cooler, they've got a blaster, which from what I understand has fallen off a bit, but it's still played. They've got dualies, which just got a little buff, and Splatano, which just got a lot of buffs.
At this you know, I hate to be like, oh, they're Div 10 to talk down. Like, no, that's not the case. These are competitive Splatoon players. The thing with these lower divs, though, is that you typically see people who are playing weapons that work for them instead of trying to conform to something that, like, oh, well, this is what the meta is. You need to have the shooter. You need to have, like, all these boxes checked. It's like, no, just do whatever you feel comfortable with, and then just find 3 other people who can find a way to make it work with what they like to do. Right now, Sleepy Squids. Oh, that is a tongue twister now that I say that out loud. Off to a good start, 1.5 checkpoints knocked out, and they're still pushing.
Yeah, this is definitely a map that can be very snowbally. It's not always, but it often is. Especially if they get past this checkpoint that they're currently approaching, there's a good likelihood of a knockout from my past experiences with this map. I do like getting to see the Wiper coming out here, because I haven't had a chance to watch much since the hammer buff, and that's exciting to me.
Nice splashdown placement, realizing there's a couple of players stuck in one spot as Park. Doesn't get the extended kind of carryover with that right there. However, the power is being pushed deep into the Faded Color Society base, and it's going to be pretty difficult to avoid the knockout right now. They're not going to do it. Sleepy Squids go up 3-0 as we get our introduction to these two teams.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, this is best of 9, so we go to game 5. Could be. I mean, there's always time, especially in a best of 9, for things to change pace.
There is. You know, the set's just getting started. I mean, as far as we're concerned, it's just getting started. Maybe we DM these teams to see if they just want to start over from scratch. Maybe Faded Color Society might be on board with that. With how this
I
is
think
going
they
so
probably
far.
would be.
So the Respawn Punisher on the brush. What's frustrating for me is that when this game first came out and Soda was a thing, and we were like, well, that's just crazy overpowered. Like, Soda should not be that strong. Initially, Respawn Punisher countered the effects of Soda. So if you had an RP leader, that was like the norm, because it just completely eliminated Soda from the game if you were able to get a Splatoon player. But then they switched it. They made Respawn Punisher have no effect on somebody who has Soda, but on the flip side, you still get all the negative effects if you die while you are wearing Respawn Punisher. So it's like...
It does seem unfair.
It just undervalues Respawn Punisher had way more use than it's ever had because of that one thing in particular. But then they went back and changed it. Like, no, wait. We need Soda to be crazy overpowered. And now it's, you know, somebody who doesn't use Soda in their comp is seen like as unique because of it. Just a shame.
It is. It is a shame. I like that there has been, like, I'm going to compare it to late game Splatoon 2. So I'm like, all of this is great, actually. Everything's fine, because I'm not watching the same game every time I watch something. Because I do think the way you played the end of Splatoon 2 was just straight up formulaic.
And by watching Splatoon 2, you mean looking up at the sky and seeing the missiles falling down nonstop. Yeah.
Actually, I loved watching people use Ray. That is a guilty pleasure of mine. But everyone else hates it. Yeah. Well, my favorite... I just like Stingray. I thought it was fun to watch people kill people from across the map. It brought me joy. Was it bad for the game? Yes, absolutely.
Was it entertaining for moi, though? Well,
exactly.
Yes, it was.
That's what matters. Where's my own personal entertainment value coming from? Because that's what matters in the video game. And we have a Nautilus and Undercover coming out now, along with a Big Swig, which...
The Big Swig? Wait,
yeah,
I'm looking.
That's a Big Swig.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that weapon is in the game. And once again...
Was hit the wrong map again.
It could be. Which allows me to look at the kit that the Big Swig has. That is the vacuum that goes onto that thing.
Wall and vacuum.
It's one of those specials where it's... I feel like if people used it a lot more, they would find a lot of really unique and maybe even broken uses for it. You do see it used somewhat on Rainmaker. Specifically, people use Vanilla Charger just because it's like, if I just use this over the Rainmaker, they're invulnerable
Yes.
for the entire time that they're using it almost.
Makes Charger feel a little more practical on a push for him.
Yeah. But just Vacuum in general is just another one of those specials where it's like, I bet if somebody wanted to devote time, they could find a lot of really cool uses for it in modes other than just Rainmaker.
Yeah,
but
I think I've seen it used to some success in Clam Blitz a long time ago. My one worry with that is Splatanas do just kind of look at it and laugh. And they're very popular right now. They do just look at it as a thing and go, that doesn't matter to me, actually. Have a good time now.
that is true. There are, I mean, it's definitely got some flaws, which is why you don't see it that much. But still, it's cool to see every now and then.
It is. I love it. I think it's fun.
You know what a sub I always forget is in the game until a patch comes out and they're like, hey, we buffed this thing that sucks horribly. The dart, the line marker. Yeah, I
think it's called angle shooter. I think line marker is what we all called it at one point. I think angle shooter's the real name. I could have that flipped though. Okay.
We are gotten confirmation from the almighty above that it is.
I
called
think it
angle
was
shooter.
originally called line marker in some pre-release of it patch note, or some translation, and my brain went, yeah, I'll stick with that forever. Actually,
sticking with the well stringer, not the hammer that just got buffed version, but well stringer in general. It's got some horrible kits, which really sucks for the game, but the weapon by itself is really good at popping the Rainmaker. It's really strong against the Rainmaker too.
Yeah, and it's also it plays very uniquely. I think it puts out so much pressure. It's not always going to get you the most picks, but it's going to put out the most pressure of just about anything in the game. They are getting rushed down by a Wiper right now, having to back off, having to try and survive, waiting for their teammates to respond. But they did manage to prevent a full wipe there, which is always great. Trip Strike's coming out, trying to get Sleepy Squids moving forward here, and it seems like they will with that hammer.
Hammer getting buffed recently, which in my mind, Hammer's been buffed 20 times in a row. It's like, okay, I've been told this thing's fixed before. I'll believe it when I actually see it. Working out pretty well in their favor right there. First checkpoint already appeared. Here comes Sharkcat with a nice little explosion, clearing the way, and it looks like Faded Color Society is going to stop the push for now.
Yeah, and it's always exciting to get to see an undercover. Usually a weapon people kind of just make fun of these days for sometimes justifiable reasons. But
the Splatoon 2
classic.
jumping splashdown. I like the idea.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Me too. But that is a full wipeout onto Faded Colors, so we're going to see Sleepy Squids getting another push here. But on the note of undercover, you remember those 3 weeks where Kunder was a thing in Splatoon 2? That was wild.
Yes, because you could build up so much armor with that thing. It provided a lot of paint. Torpedoes were very annoying. But yeah, it was like one summer. Or maybe just 1 month in particular, where everybody was just like, oh, you got to have a Kunder on your team. And now it just I
remember watching Sendo.
It fell so hard.
Yeah, I remember watching Sendo play it wearing the Moist Ghillie suit, which was Sendo back when he played in a lot of tournaments sure had outfits. Sleepy Squids looking extremely dominant there, getting a very clean push after getting a wipeout. Played great defense when it was their time to. They're doing an incredible job.
By the way, the Sleepy Squids are currently 9-0 in all of their matches in Division 10. This is Division 10, the Americas, that we're working at. If the rest of the world is probably sleeping right now, like normal people, we, however, are staying up late on a Friday night playing competitive Splatoon. So, by the way, there is one more set that is actually scheduled to take place on LUTI tonight after this one, starting at 9 o'clock. So if you want to hang around for that, if this set doesn't get pushed to a game 9, and that one would be delayed, but Memento Mori taking on the Melodic Blue, and then at the 10 o'clock, the Magnolia versus Duck in Division 2. So this is just the beginning of a long night here.
Love LUTI season because you can watch as much competitive Splatoon as you want. There's a quite literal quite seemingly endless amount to try and keep up with.
And you might just be harmlessly in the middle of your set, and then tonight's staff pops in and says, hey, you want to be on the big...
You want to be content?
Oh boy. Sleepy Squids looking anything but sleepy right now.
Yeah.
They seem pretty active, pretty up and at it here. As we hop into game 5, Lord only knows if we're on the right map or not, or if there'll be another replay. It is Mahi zones.
So apparently that one was there was an accidental splatter screen in there.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm assuming
at least
that
it was
is
not the
banned.
map that time.
Oh, it might have been the undercover then, which is why they
probably.
switched to the
vanilla.
the other one there. Ninja Squid on the brush coming out from the Sleepy Squids. Nautilus as well. So they're dropping the edit, but they're still keeping the soda because they got an InZap player now.
And Zap, for some reason, needed a buff, apparently.
Yeah, like, why?
At
least it wasn't Splattershot for the 15th time in a row.
Yeah. They sure love shooters. Good for them.
I wonder if it was I'm sorry, we're breaking your pencil a bit. Here's still a soda option for you, even though it was already a soda option for everyone.
Heavy Edit was right there. Zap was functional. It was fine. But we've got the Wellstring sticking around. Always fun to see that. We have a Zipcaster going into the Faded Colors Society's base. Did some damage, managed to stay alive while doing it, which is quite impressive. Big Swig dropped in with the back, enough to neutralize zone, but not enough to cap. This could be a 100-0 hold coming out of Sleepy Squids.
Yeah, and a good opening from the Faded Color Society, but a better response from the Sleepy Squids. Would like to see the Society trying to go in together here, trying to build up some specials. That Reef Slider being used on the zone with the rest of your teammates would pretty much stall it, if not instantly cap it into their favor, but instead they go in trying to make a bit of a play, trying to get something going here. And finally, a couple of splats going down. Zone stalled right back out, and the Faded Color Society stays alive for a little bit longer, capping the zone into their favor.
Yeah, clinging on by the skin of their teeth. This is set point, so they are feeling the pressure now. I don't know what they do to make this work here. They do have a Reef Slider ready. It's going to come out. Finds a pick, which is great. Undercover looking to stall out against a shooter, one of the things it is good at. Nautilus has to back off. This could become a hold.
By the way, that is a Respawn Punisher undercover, so that Reef Slider is very punishing. Not only, it delays your time come back out of spawn, that sucks, but the biggest advantage to hitting somebody with a Respawn Punisher is it cripples their special charge. Like, it basically just drains it all the way down. As the Faded Color Society does get a little bit of points up on the scoreboard, and there's a lot of penalty points here on Sleepy Squids. However, they just got the wipeout. They got a splashdown they're ready to use. And a Nautilus, even though it came into the range of the roller, still feels pretty confident they're going to win that fight.
Yeah, Nautilus, as much as it's not what it was in Splatoon 2, still feels confident it's going to win most fights it ever sees, in all honesty. We have Sleepy Squids just fully onto Faded Color Society's plat. Faded Color Society's trying to find a way out, gonna be struggling to do so against the very aggressive Sleepy Squids comp. But vacuums come out. Wellstring found the pick. They just need to get to zone in time, but there were trip strikes ready. They didn't come out in time. That's Faded Color Society getting a hold. This game is still within grasp. It's not the hardest zone to hold. If the undercover just kind of spams Reef Slider, that could even be a viable strategy for him here, in all honesty.
Using the vacuum on the back side of the zone and then painting the front side. A nice little pincer being put onto the zone, pausing it with 2 remaining. Faded Color Society's looking pretty decent right now. They got rid of their penalty points. Here comes some hands being thrown, but they absorb it, and here comes a Reef Slider on the backside. Doesn't get any splats on a couple of players. Instead, it is Blue on the brush, getting a nice double right there. That could have been the knockout punch coming from Faded Color Society if they could find a way to land that splashdown, but a nice dodge by all the players of Sleepy Squids.
Yeah. Sleepy Squids does seem to be really good at regrouping, which is one of the most important skills in Splatoon, I would say. Being able to get your team back moving as a unit and going forward again is very difficult and exceptionally important.
And it's also difficult to do when you're losing in a set and the other team has the lead and you're feeling the pressure to get back in there. The Nautilus is the last player left alive, but nobody else can get past to the zone in time. So the Sleepy Squids, 10-0 in Division 10 so far. They're looking good. Faded Color Society had some moments here, but they're going to go back to the drawing board going into next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sleepy Squids might be. I mean, admittedly, they've only played 2 sets, but they've steamrolled both of them. I think there's a world where we could see them in playoffs for Div 10 potentially.
Oh yeah, I mean they're undefeated right now. I think.
Yeah.
But I mean the thing about Division 10, and this is coming from somebody who was on the seeding council, most of these teams we have no idea.
Yeah, they're mysteries.
Yeah, well that, or they just don't have enough results or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean it's not to say that somebody in Div 10 is at the bottom of the community. That's not fair to say. It's just somebody we just don't know much about, and this is an opportunity to get their name out there.
Yeah.
Is by doing well in this one. Sleepy Squids,
also,
looking good.
Yeah, it's also just great practice to play in LUTI for teams if you can manage to weather it. It's so much playtime. It's a lot of competitive playtime instead of just scrims, which is always really great.
By the way, shout outs to both teams for being good sports about this. I mean, they're in the middle of their LUTI set, and then people
get a million messages.
Like, hey, do you want this to be on stream right now? I know, like, you're in the middle of everything, so shout outs to them for being good sports about this. The Faded Color Society, it was nice to see some weapons we don't typically see, so it gives us something to talk about. It's just nice to see all around, and congratulations once again to the Sleepy Squids. Hey, when you won't be funny later on this year when the Sleepy Squids are playing in grand finals of Low Inc. and you and me will commentate it, Nox, and then we'll be like, I remember when they were just in Div 10, being silly in there, and now look what they've become now. This is the beginning of their heroic
dominance
rise.
arc.
Yes, when they're knocking off Starburst and FT Win. People, the documentary will come back to this clip. Hey, when there's money involved into a tournament, they suddenly come out from the graveyard. So
That's true. That is true. And to be fair, can't blame them. If I thought I had a good chance at winning every time there was money involved, I would also show back up.
All right. I think we're going to take a little bit of a break here before we get you set up with your next match. Again, that is going to be Division 4, as I wasted time to look it up. Memento Mori 1-0 taking on the Melodic Blue, who's 1-0. Cactus and Devi are going to be your commentators for that one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more action here on LUTI tonight.
We're being told to share our socials.
Top Gun at Blue Sky. That's me.
Yeah, you can find me at NoxRaven42 on Blue Sky and YouTube. I have some cool top-level player interviews up there.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to LUTI Tonight here on Splatoon Tourney. My name is Cactus, and joining me is the Hydra mom herself, Debbie Doobie. Debbie, how are you doing?
Cactus, it's been a bit.
Oh, it's been too long.
How about you? Yes, way too long. Oh my gosh. As soon as I saw it, just like, when I got the ping on mic, it's just like, yo, we've got the hype on the comms. We're like, it's Cactus! Yes! Anyway, we should probably quickly go over the teams. This is Division 4, the Melodic Blue versus Memento Mori. They're getting ready to roll for game 1 here pretty quick, so we don't have a whole lot of time. Memento Mori is definitely the group that is most familiar to me. But we cannot forget about the other team, of course. But with me, of course, Memento Mori, more names are definitely more familiar to me on this team. Seen them in several SOSs, and just remember their name growing when they had a shine there. I believe it was towards the end of 2024 there, where they were showing up in more SOSs and other events and taking some decent placements.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I noticed at least one player on both teams that I've seen around before. And both of these teams are going into this set, by the way, 1-0 over strong victories, 5-4 and 5-3 respectively in their Week 1 LUTI set. But we'll get into more of that later. Game 1 is underway. We are going to see Splat Zones on Mako Mart. Debbie, what are you seeing about these comps right now?
Got something I saw about both comps from the start was looking at the weapon list is we have 2 Charger main players. One, of course, bringing out Pencil from Esper, and the other one, Cappy, bringing out the E-Leader. But, of course, the E-Leader the first to go down by Damp as they flank around on the brush, getting a quick pick. But it is Memento Mori who capitalizes on that flank pick. Even though they lost their brush, the rest of them move right in, cap zone, and now they have a decent start out here. Of course, we still have a 1-for-1 trade. But zone points already going down from Memento Mori. They were in a solid spot, and even though 1 down, they're holding well with the 3 in the remaining positions.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job holding this space, using the specials that we had to advantage. Honestly, not too many specials, more of just the main weapons itself. We are going to see the Melodic Blue being able to push back in, get control of that zone, and start building on their points. They have Cooler to keep this push going, and look how fast they're taking up that left ledge area, making it really impossible for any players to jump on down. But with the brush going in with getting one hammer that was recently buffed in the recent patch, getting one, looking for another. Can they find it? They actually run out the hammer and get one with their normal brush weapon itself. Some couple tap shots from the pen will help cap that zone back again. And it's going to be Memento Mori looking at holding this zone just a little bit more, hoping to knock down their penalty points.
Yes, of course, with that hammer buff, we're going to see a lot of those coming back, but it looks like we had a 1-for-1 down in the corner, and we see it looks like the Zap opting to jump out. But we have a fight in the bubble here, but of course, just the knot coming up around behind with the different bunch of follow-up there. Cooler is ready for the Zap, but it looks like 2-for-2 now for both teams. Fight towards the middle, and it looks like the bucket is pressuring the Zap. Zap, of course, is going to keep alive. Pen is continuing to paint zone. You can see Damp just running kind of around in the middle, but getting caught out on the side by the Blaster, and the rest of the members of Memento Mori are pushed back, but they aren't leaving too far. They're going to get ready to move in with these strikes. It looks like they want to try to make something happen with this, but of course the bucket is probably going to be called out. They do get caught out on the side here, and now the Slosher from Lucio here just opting to go onto the other side, taking the stack, maintaining control here, pushing Memento Mori back, and they are going to claim the lead now.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, those strikes were used only on that one left side, trying to claim that left stack. And that was kind of a telltale sign for the other team to be like, hey, they're going to push from this side. Let's just collapse on them. That's exactly what they did. Now, Melodic Blue will get that lead swap. It's very short. And honestly, on a map like this, not extremely winnable. Memento Mori now has control of that zone. They're going to try to take a lot of control, a lot of space with this. Here come the strikes on out to push the enemy team back. Here's that lead swap I was talking about. Might just hit through as Melodic Blue tries to hold that zone a little bit more and try to flip it, but it's not going to be enough with their strikes. Lead will swap over, and Memento Mori doing an excellent job at holding pressure. Brush goes up, gets one, but we are going to see the Charger being able to pick them off for a nice trade-off on the zone. Picks for picks on the zone. Can they hold on? Memento Mori is trying to hold, but it won't be enough. Melodic Blue gets the jumps in and holds this cap back.
Lucio just going in with that bucket, able to finish up a lot of picks here that we're seeing.
And Memento Mori, of course, they have the lock, but the Melodic Blue is finding the way to push back in, and both teams are definitely showing the fact that they can be even out on this map. This game is really going to come down to the wire when we get down to the last minute of play here, even down to the last 30 seconds. Anything can happen on Zone's Mako here at this time and go 1 for 1. We have another trade out going here, and again, Lucio coming up on top here towards the end, but again, another trade towards the zone. Hammer's going to come out, is going to find that pick, and of course it is reversed back to Memento Mori. It looks like Charger was able to find the Nautilus, pick that off. Rain able to come out on the side, but it looks like they are going to stay alive and get a pick in return. We see AJ here going to try to paint the zone with the Nautilus, but then is going to back up. It looks like people were noted on that stack there. And the nice thing with this Nautilus here is there's a lot of marking, so you're going to be able to find anything behind the stacks and just be able to go around with it once marked.
Absolutely, and right now you see an excellent job being displayed by Melodic Blue, just really applying a lot of the pressure here, but the Pen will get a nice pick on the Slosher, and they're counting on their normal points still. It's Memento Mori trying to fight it back, but with Cooler being up, they're going to try to fight this off and hold it just a little bit more. They're going to have there's that pin on forward, try to hold that zone cap, and they will. Only 10 more points to go for the zone. Memento Mori as a unit are trying to push on forward, but one will go down, one will get flanked by a Slosher. They will hold on to that zone, and only 5 points to go. A wipeout to clear it, dancing in their bubble respectfully. So they secure game 1.
Oh, this is only just the start of showing what these teams have to offer, Cactus. And going, you could see just the back and forth from both teams, just being able to have that counter push ready, being able to secure. Something else I didn't note is the Blaster putting out those bubbles on the zone, just taking away that extra space, and where Memento Mori could not paint, so the pencil couldn't cover it, and neither could the other painting weapon. And something else as well is, especially if the brush gets caught out on the flanks, which it looks like it was happening. It looks like the Melodic Blue was being aware of these brush flanks, being aware of the hammer, and they were getting caught out more towards the end, leaving the 3 members of Memento Mori having to try to win these fights and outpaint the Zap, who is constantly on the zone, along with the others who were getting the picks on the side, especially Lucio being able to follow up a lot with their Slosher.
Yeah, it really goes to show each player was taking advantage not only of their own weapons, but what their teammates were doing during that entire match. You know, they were making sure each player had that backup that was necessary and making sure that, you know, every call out mattered to them and every call out was one they were making use of. And that's what you love to see, especially for a game 1. And again, that was very back and forth. Honestly, it could have gone either way. It just depended on the team that was able to truly lock in that togetherness, that synergy, being able to really just hold on. And especially at the end there, we saw a beautiful display by the Melodic Blue, just being able to capture that zone together. You had the Slosher flank over from the 1 stack, just ultimately excellent play for game 1.
Well, we're going into Clam Blitz now, and this one is definitely looking to be more in Memento Mori's favor, considering that they do have that brush comp handy. And the brushes, of course, we know how they like to go around and go from here, and we saw that hammer buff. We saw that opening from the last game. There's a lot of follow-up and a lot of damage being able to be dealt by Memento Mori, and of course now they have the extra poke being brought out by the Bamboo with the extra range of the Dually Squelchers, and these weapons, when they all combo, it is deadly.
I was gonna say, like, their whole comp is pretty much changed except for the brush. I mean, they also decided to bring out a Stamper. It is literally a range game to get that brush in and be a menace against the Melodic Blue, and they're doing an excellent job at that so far. Unfortunately, though, it looks like a flank will take 2 of their members out, make that 3, and it's gonna be 2 to 3 specials online now for the Melodic Blue, and they're wasting no time pushing. You are gonna see that bubble get popped. They're going to get a couple picks and start scoring a heck of a lot of clams. Debbie, what is going on? They're almost at 30.
This, I don't really, this is just a guess, okay? But it feels like they were waiting for this, and as soon as they capitalized on it, they had no hesitation whatsoever. The Melodic Blue was ready to have that clam economy and just go with that Blaster leading. There is no messing around here. They had their game plan set. They knew what they wanted to do, and as soon as they had that advantage, they went.
I mean, for real, that was, I'm expecting maybe just the power clam and a couple extra to come on through, but they must have gotten the perfect clam spawn rotation there of this match to just lead all the way down to 29. I mean, that's enough of a push right there that if you can hold a strong defense in mid, I mean, you're securing the game there, and you're gonna have 3 full minutes to do it. But we are gonna see Momentum Array getting 2 players down, looking for a third. The Charger trying to play around that snipe, do some fancy little squid rolls to try to survive that killer whale. They are gonna pop that Wavebreaker down, and they're gonna try to help out their front lines and mid lanes a little bit more, trying to apply some pressure. But right now it's gonna be Momentum Array with 2 specials online, 1 getting canceled though, and kind of stopping that push unless they can find another way back in.
Hammer wanted to find one. I think it looks like Damp was either looking to try to find a spot to either throw the hammer up and over or get the one that was down underneath, but unfortunately it was canceled by that blaster. Crazy shot there to be able to get that there right off the bat. And was that a bomb roll double? That was a bomb roll. What a bomb roll. Ramps and bombs, I tell you.
Oh, and
do a lot of work.
This brush as well, just soloing 2 players, scoring clams, trying to solo a third. Can they get out in time? They do! What? You survived
Welcome
3 players shooting
to the brush. This is how it was even before, like at the start, even though we had the point of view of the brush. We saw Damp go in, try to go around, try to get that leader, and there was a team fight happening in middle at the same time, where unfortunately 2 members of Memento Mori went down earlier on, but Damp was still able to go in and escape. Damp can just maneuver around. It's just, hopefully the rest of the team can follow up with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see here this entire time, that's going to be 3 players down, looking for the 4th. Damp just trying to holding on forward here, getting that power clamp scored in, and they do have a heck of a lot more clamps to follow suit. If they keep up this pressure, use their specials correctly, especially the Zip Caster, this could be a lead swap. That is going to be, this could potentially be a knockout if they keep things going correctly here.
They did, however, just go 2 down with the Slosher and Zap follow-up, and it looks like they were going to tag team there and get that pick on Damp, being able to send them back to spawn, not having to worry about the hammer right away, and they're already taking mid. You can see they don't want Memento Mori to have any paint control, because by the looks of their comp, you can see like they wouldn't be able to paint as quickly, but of course, these weapons will definitely, I imagine they've definitely practiced this a bit, know how to cover with it, and just go right in, but now here's the same setup from the Melodic Blue. They managed to get 3 down on Memento Mori. They get that blaster and they pop the bubble. However, Damp is there with that hammer, able to help stop it a little bit and just pull it back, so they aren't able to continue it or retake lead. So thank goodness, hammer for the win to help stop that push.
Yeah, that hammer play, especially with that bubble being there, was so clutch, being able to just take that out. And it's really only a power clam and some change for the Melodic Blue to get that lead back. And with 2 players down on Momentum Array, they are coolered, so it's not going to be too fast of a push, but they can find an opportunity here. It looks like they're going to just try to go for it, but no! They're going to get picked off here, and they're just kind of trying to hold forward on this, but they need to kind of reset here. I don't think they're going to be able to get this push in with everyone just being around that little elbow of that corner. One will go in and score. Can they get another in? No! They're just going to have to try to feed up forward unless they have another power clam, and that's only going to be about maybe not even 5 seconds of overtime, because that match was already scoring that power clam, and that's game. A little too fast of a push at the end.
A little
kind
bit.
of costed that.
A little bit. There was a moment of where they looked like they were going in. It was canceled there. Esper made a really good move with the strikes and going ahead of it so they could shoot within the strikes to be able to stop the one pushing with the power clam. Solid move. Esper did get picked off afterwards, which was, again, back and forth, but then you could see that the Melodic Blue did back up and try to reset. But you'd figured they would still reset it a little bit, but instead I believe it was the Zap who had the clam, who went in, kind of found that opening and went in with it. But everybody from Memento Mori was still there. They never really had that solid advantage. It was just already stuck, and they had no other kind of pinch coming from the Greats either. So it was just completely blocked and defended. So unless if they got like a lucky double or anything there from the other people who were alive, then they could have maybe got it pushed there. But they did have the amount to trigger overtime, but instead they opted to score beforehand, making it more of a rush scenario. So definitely a little bit of a earlier push there than needed. They had the right idea, but with just early executed a little too early.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Debbie. That's if they just played a little bit more of that patient game there and just kind of reevaluated, because they have not only the 10 seconds of the end of that clock there, but you also have to think you have an extra 20 seconds of overtime. That's 30 seconds, half a minute. You can reset yourselves, try to get that flank right on the grates that you were mentioning, and just really push it from two different sides, push for that pinch opportunity, especially since you had most of the other team on the Melodic Blue just kind of in that corner there. So, I mean, props to them though, tying the score on up 1-1, and again, a very close match. I can't wait to see how Tower Control and Shipshape Cargo is going to go, especially with the way this map has all its elevations, especially with a brush and now this incredible hammer that they have.
Yeah, and even then, even in the last game, like I said, I figured Memento Mori would honestly be more in dominance that they had, but of course, the Melodic Blues, they have their game plan down. They know what they want to do, so I'm curious to see what they have here. Damp here bringing out the Missile Paintbrush this time around. So now we've got the sensors, double point sensor. The Melodic Blue better be constantly censored at this point. So this will follow up greatly to help the sword get picks and also the pen put in the right direction. But it looks like one already going down on the side being Damp. And Melodic Blue looked like they were trying to get the top right control of Memento Mori's side, and it looks like they're already going to be pushing tower. They're all grouped up there. We see the E-Leader just taking the tower. We see Quill just painting the area, helping get this blaster installed. This blaster with that bubble ready to go, ready to pop it in the time of need there, as it looks like checkpoint is already broken and they're just pushing out here. AJ's the only one on the knot with the knot on the top left. That Rain out there trying to create some displacement, but there's that bubble popped, but Damp is able to beat it, and even though the bubble was popped, the blaster was picked inside that bubble and the rest were to go, but the Zap is still there behind him, still alive somehow, running away. There we go. Now they got picked off. Crazy. If they would have escaped that would have been absolute mission impossible.
Oh, absolutely. I give them props for even attempting that. Really just trying to fight for those picks, fight around that tower, trying to keep things going. I mean, that's an incredible push, by the way, for the Melodic Blue. All the way down to 35, especially in that first, minute and a half of the game. So really great focus objective there. Memento Mori now, they have to look to kind of push things back, but looks like they got pushed back themselves and pretty far, nearly back all the way to their spawn entrance. They're going to see a Zipcaster here try to do a number on this tower, but the leader doing a great job of just bouncing on out of there, trying to stay alive. Zip will try to find one. It's going to almost get punished there. Thankfully, right out in time so they could survive. Lucio resetting because they do have strikes online. A couple specials being launched out by Memento Mori, like that Rain there. Just trying to pull good numbers of damage, but right now Memento Mori just doing a great job. Just trying to hold on here. A couple players try to go for a couple of cheeky picks. Nice, excellent pick there on the sword there by Lucio. So just really holding on here. Bubble's ready as well. So we might see another really good push from the Melodic Blue.
Setup right there between the sword and the pencil was actually a really solid bait. Unfortunately, the sword just missed the slash combo there. Otherwise, Lucio honestly should have went down. But it looked like Esper was trying to bait the sword, or not the sword, the blaster out to try to get that pick. But the sword just, unfortunately, just missed a little bit there, not able to get that pick off. But something I've noticed as well is the Melodic Blue, again, is really good with these burst starts from game 2 and 3. Just able to get the advantage, able to get a solid lead here. But something we noticed that Memento Mori will definitely shine in the late game. They will have a plan to go back in and get the counter or make their best effort, and usually that's when they can get their push off. But right now we're getting with 2 minutes left in this game, and Memento Mori has been basically stuck on their side almost this entire game.
Yeah, they haven't really had a good opportunity to push past mid, though, and the one opportunity they had, they unfortunately had the Zap dancing from behind them, causing a little bit of a distraction. Melodic Blue is using all of their resources to just keep this tower going, even if it's just a little bit at a time, even if no real points are gained. Although right there, you will see them finally touch that checkpoint there. Memento Mori now popping this Storm here, trying to spot on any player, trying to force them back, cause some chip damage out with that, get the other Remembers pushing on forward. But Melodic Blue, I mean, these players just aren't scared. They're just holding forward, building their specials, making sure they're not losing any space. If one goes to pay for a special, the rest are just trying to hold that front line down. That's a nice bomb spot there. Just as we were talking, the Zipcaster is going to try to get canceled out, but they're just going to try to zip away for life there. Down goes the Nautilus. Finally, it looks like a push going out for Momentum Moray. And if they could keep this kind of stagger going on the Melodic Blue, this might be a good push for them.
Even though has just kind of gotten back into middle here, there was a couple picks that Momentum Moray did get. But this top corner just, we do see this fight between the Sword and the E-Leader, but behind the screen there was an entire fight on the top right where Memento Mori just could not take control of that top side. That wall was just completely dominated by the Melodic Blue, and Memento Mori had no way up, no way to push them back out, and they ended up getting wiped in the process.
Yeah, and that with only 30 seconds left and just so much pressure being added by Melodic Blue, you're really looking to see, if you're on the side of Momentum Moray, how can we push these players back? How can we start getting in? Especially with this, look how aggressive this leader's playing too. I mean, they're really making it impossible for them to push on forward. But now we're going to see some of these players start pushing forward. Down goes the Blaster. Down goes the Zap. Slow strikes are going on in, but you have no one on your front line to try to go in forward. But Lucio with a nice double on there. You're going to see Lucio just kind of trying to hold forward. Will get punished. The Paintbrush is going to try to apply some pressure on the top left. This might be a really solid overtime push if they could just keep the stagger. Oh, commentator curse.
Hi, Blaster. We see you with an E-Leader shot. I was like, the Blaster's right there. The E-Leader has a light. A light? Well, they do have a laser.
Line of sight.
But they had that, basically that pinch there. And it was just like, oh, they just got close. But Melodic Blue is not wanting Memento Mori to have any kind of control in middle, to have any kind of aggression, because they know that if Memento Mori gets control, their comp is going to be really annoying to deal with on the other side. So instead, they're pushing themselves forward more. They're opting to take more of these team fights and follow up and just basically be together, but they're not... You can see, like, they're together, but they're not close enough to get full-on down to, like, a bomb or something like that. Sometimes they will be forced in that area where it might happen, but they're playing together like a solid wall. They're the pack of bodyguards around this objective that's moving. And they're really taking this well. Like that one fight where we were watching the Sword try to take out the Charger, in that entire background, there was a 3v3 that happened on the tower. And Memento Mori, I watched it just before the spec cam changed over to the E-Leader POV. And Memento Mori just could not get up top. Melodic Blue had that whole top area just secured where the tower was. And it was just like, you are not getting up here. Access is denied. We're just going to put you right back home where you belong. That's kind of what was happening in that back corner where you couldn't quite see it, but you could at the same time if you were looked at in that direction instead. And it was just like, oh, okay. So now we are at the third game. Fourth game. I can't count sometimes. And we're going to Rainmaker on Museum. This one's a fun one.
Yes.
Because of the starts that can happen. So I'm curious to see how the starts are going to happen, considering the players. May or may not happen.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying with Melodic Blue, I mean, their burst starts. This is a map mode combination that is going to pay off so well if they're able to really lock it in. Take one player, kind of push on in, get one or two picks. That checkpoint and more is all yours.
The question is now, I'm curious to see what Memento Mori are going to respond with for this one. Of course, we're going to see that Kraken E-Leader come out, and it looks like Melodic Blue has a sword of their own. But we're going to opt to see still similar comp with Brush Sword combo, with Bamboo opting to get the extra pick, and that Dually Squelcher is going to come back as well. I love seeing the Dually Squelcher come out. I don't know about you, Cactus.
It's nice to see. It's so unique, and we don't see it enough. I'm just so used to Tetra or V-Dualies now. I love seeing the little bit of a rage on a weapon that can dodge roll more than some players feel it should. Speaking of which, about just weapons in general doing more than they should, that Brush really tried to go on it and push forward, but two players down, and Milan taking it a little bit slow this game, right? They're just making sure they spot all these last players out. Hopefully this Rainmaker does not go down to this killer whale here, as they are kind of alone on this right side. Bamboo's just trying to apply some nice chip damage. Leader's just tap-shotting away for some paint, looking for a nice pick on one player there. They're going to find it unsuccessful. Oh, finds one though. Oh, the Kraken canceled by the Brush! Oh my!
It was the last resort to try to stay alive, but they were able to get that pick into the middle, and then, of course, Damp just saying, hello, I'm here, you punish my teammate, I'm going to punish you. Damp here trying to stay alive here, but of course, is going to get cut out with the sword, but then the sword also goes down in return. Right now, mid is in favor of Memento Mori, and it looks like it's a slight man advantage by one person for that initial push there, but it looks like Esper's going to go for that checkpoint. Checkpoint is finally obtained, but now can they hold Spinner? No, Whales are not going to be able to make it out on time, but it looks like 2 go down on Memento Mori. They were able to get that checkpoint, so that is huge. They still have a lot of mid control. They should know where the members of Melodic Blue are here, and it looks like they are able to get one in the middle there. You can see they aren't being as they tried to rush in that first one and got picked down, and now they are just kind of waiting for that opportunity for the Melodic Blue to overstep so they can get those picks in return, but instead now they're going to go in and they got punished by Melodic Blue. That seems to be kind of a trend that's happening now, where it looks like one is waiting for the other and it's just who's gonna move first, because either team can punish each other quite well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for a match that I was expected to be very dominant on one side by one of your teams, it's very close. It's very back and forth. Only a 1-point lead right now for the Melodic Blue. For Memento Mori is the only one player up alive. It's just the dualies, and that's going to be pretty much a delayed wipe as all the 3 remaining players are respawning down to 14. And if Lucio gets their strikes up in time and this pressure still being added, I mean, this could be a lot further, but thankfully Memento Mori sees where the players are. They're poking all of them out. No sharks out on a display on their spawn. They're pinning everything to make sure of it. Trying to get this reset here. You will see his Killer Whale trying to spot these players, really just force them as far back as possible, including with that Wave Breaker, just doing the damage needed. Wow, I mean, a push to 14, that's very good on this map mode.
Huge for this map. It is very hard to get back, so you need to really make sure that you can win your team fights when trying to make this push. Make sure that you have it set up. But right now, it's been back and forth in given situations, but it seems like the Melodic Blue, especially in the first half of the game, even though we are just approaching the last half already, time just flew. I feel like this just started. And it looks like Melodic Blue was able to get the upper hand, and they are now looking to show that they are winning majority of these fights in the middle. The game is not over yet, even though this push is quite difficult to get, but it looks like one goes down. The Hammer gets another great Hammer ledge pick. That is 3. This is what Memento Mori wants. That Hammer's going to get in lead, trying to find this last person. I believe that was the E-leader trying to go around. Looks like Esper here does have that Rainmaker. It looks like bombs are coming the way. We heard a zip come out. Kraken falls off, but the other members pinch on the Rainmaker as the rest of the members of Memento Mori go up ahead of the Rainmaker, just kind of left between that pinch between the Slosher and the Kraken, and just kind of gets stuck. And the Melodic Blue able to defend and push Memento Mori back to where they started. Damp trying to get a little cheeky flank around the side, but is caught out.
I love the effort there for that little flavor, but when you have 3 of those players still on their ramp, I don't think I was the best of shit, but I gave them props. They tried it, and now it's, I mean, I felt like that was their prime opportunity push there, but I mean, you had the Melodic Blue just kind of ready and set for it on the comeback there. Nice pick there by Lucio on the player on the side, no bamboo. Back right away. 30 seconds left on the clock. You are going to see Memento Mori pick up this Rainmaker, and this is going to potentially be their last push opportunity. A lot of their specials have already been put into use, and they're just going to have to try to run it here with 15 seconds left, but unfortunately getting caught up by the Slosher. Zip comes up to apply more pressure, trying to get a pick. Unfortunately, that new 200 hitbox is not going to do it for you, and now they just have to try to put a lot of damage, but can they survive? This Kraken just going on in. No, they can't. Kraken always finds a way.
The Kraken found a way through, but that was a setup they definitely wanted. The Kraken couldn't have come online at a better time for the Melodic Blue to be able to help defend that. But oh my goodness, again, both teams have an answer to pushes, but for this one, the Melodic Blue has been able to take the most important ones and being able to push it the furthest there, but both of these have solid quite even like counter pressure to each other. And then it's just, which one's going to come out on top? And the Melodic Blue for this one caught out the one push that Memento Mori was going to have, because I believe I saw it was, I believe it was the brush and the sword that both went up onto the spinner and went 2 down. I remember looking up and I was like, okay, this is Memento Mori's chance. And then I look up and all of a sudden 2 of them are down. And I'm like, wait a second, what happened? And I'm like, okay, Melodic Blue was there. They called this out, and they absolutely just stopped what would happen. And then they just here's the Uno reverse card. We're gonna take it right back.
Yeah, I mean, they just really played that ending very well, especially with the amount of players they had down on the Melodic Blue side, right? I mean, just that many players down, you have hopefully a quick burst of a player just trying to clutch it up, and that's exactly what happened. They did an excellent job there, holding that defensive line, especially with that many players down. And Melodic Blue just securing another game win. And again, these games are just so close. It really, really is honing in, like you said, Debbie, just on those teams that are able to apply that full pressure and hold for the longest and really just get that good opportunity and, you know, seek it first, really, because a lot of both teams are really seeing these opportunities hand in hand. It's just a matter of who can take advantage of it first and just snowball with that just to get a good push going.
Something I like to tell people is sometimes the scoreboard that you see doesn't always tell the whole story. And if you went back and watched these games, I'm going to take the Clam Blitz on Scorch Gorge game as a prime example. This one looked like it was more in favor, like comp-wise, it looked more in favor of Memento Mori. And yes, they won this game. But if you look at most control and kind of attempted pushes, that looked like it was more Melodic Blue's favor. Meanwhile, for this Rainmaker game, Memento Mori had more of the control for most of the game, had the more attempts, but the Melodic Blue was able to get the most effective one. But now we're moving on to the Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi game, and we're seeing that Zekofin Charger come out from Esper. I was waiting for that one!
Yeah, no cooler as well from Memento Mori. So I'm really curious how... and it's crazy. But I'm curious how they're going to be able to try to take advantage of that, especially with Melodic Blue, who's playing so fast, especially when they have that cooler ready. I mean, right off the bat, huge start out right off the bat. A lot of bomb pressure onto Memento Mori's plat near their spawn. So they're really going to have to take keen on their pushes here to try to push them back.
Of course, with that zap, of course, the Cool holding on to that zap. The last time on the Zones game on Mako, they were full on zone lockdown. So a main thing for Memento Mori is to especially find that zap, make sure that they know the leader's sight line, and be able to take control. Of course, they did get that 3 down. You see AJ just being able to paint up the map in the areas, making sure that they have a lot of escape pressure, and they want to know these ledges. They want to find out the extra members here and try to keep them back. But as I say this Blaster just kind of getting the win on that ledge there. Usually it's kind of a danger zone, but the Blaster, of course, going up, being able to find that extra pick, and another one was down, and now they're back onto zone, getting it right back into their control, and Sword going down again right off the bat here, and the Brush going down shortly after, leaving Memento Mori back into their own side, and now they're Melodic Blue's turn to hold the front here.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job now getting their penalty points away, trying to build down more of those points. Their zap will go down, so I don't believe there's going to be any cooler on them. Down goes their Blaster. A nice snipe shot there on the Sword will take them out and away, but they're still here holding the zone. Memento Mori is not really finding an opportunity to go on in, although this might be their chance here if they're able to just apply more pressure. Unfortunately, down goes their Sword and down goes their Paintbrush. It is only the Charger left up, but they get flanked from behind, and that is going to be a wipeout. Once again, the Melodic Blue securing another game victory, putting them 4-1.
There was that one fight towards the end that really sealed the deal there. Like, Memento Mori had a really great start and just had it secured, had the 3 down, got rid of kind of the threats, and then it was just on that ledge there. The Blaster able to poke around. Usually the ledges are dangerous there, but when you're a Blaster can cover that ledge themselves, even if they're up above. Their Blast just kind of secures it. And the one member from Memento Mori just kind of got caught in that fire and went down. I didn't see how the Sword went down. But then the next push that went down when Memento Mori tried to get there was when they pushed from that side. We were watching the E-Leader's perspective, and they were pushing in from that right-hand side. And the Zipcaster was coming out, and the rest were kind of coming out from that side as well. But the E-Leader read that Zipcaster to a T, and I was like, signed, sealed, delivered. You ain't getting me. Nuh-uh. No Zipcaster today. As a backline myself, I know those are one things where it's like, all right, This is where tracker mode is going to come in. Where they're gonna go, we're just gonna aim in that direction and make sure it doesn't go in my face.
Yeah.
I don't deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, props to that leader taking care of that Zip so strong right away. And honestly, it was really that snipe that helped that leader stay in that position for so long and allowed for the remainder of their teammates to respawn in and come back and hold. And they were able to just put Momentum Array on the back pedal, right? And just get those picks, getting down pretty much the painters, if you want to call them that, with the Stamper and the paintbrush. And all you really had was your Charger and one other midline that's just getting pinched right off the bat, especially with a Zap that's going to flank around just so easily because again, it's a shooter and it's able to collapse on that. So, I mean, excellent job by the Melodic Blue, just really, again, just putting their foot down on the gas, not letting go, and seeing a wipeout on their screen and a KO to secure that game.
I want to see what Memento Mori has to bring out for this Clan Blitz game. Again, I do think that Clan Blitz is Memento Mori's stronger mode. They looked like that they had a good number of control when they could come back, and it looks like that they have that counter, of course, with that accessibility with the brush as well, but it looks like the Melodic Blue has caught on to what Memento Mori wants to do. So now seeing here, they're going to keep the bamboo, but this is chump bamboo this time. They are going to release the friends and have the extra friend support come in on the side and cause explosions. And I love to see it.
I'm all for it. That special needs a lot more love, and I'm so glad to see it here. And a nice helpful.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness! So much for the friends. Oh
well,
man.
They haven't launched the friends yet at the Melodic Blue. That hasn't happened yet. So we're going. Wait till that happens. I believe in the friends. Anywho, even though that there was a bunch of fights that went down there, 2 did go down, it's already being in reverse effect. Damp going in, try to get here, is going to go down, but of course this puts Memento Mori back up front where they want to be, getting control of the Melodic Blues plat, pushing that blaster back, who does have the clam. It looks like Sword does have Zip at the ready, Kraken is online, and the friends have been launched! And now Memento Mori wants to try to keep control, but the Sword and the brush go down again. I've noticed the Melodic Blue has done a really good job at taking down both the Sword and the brush at the same time. Several times.
Yeah, I mean, those are the key picks that you're really looking out for here. Momentum Array really, just trying to find that outlet in, right? Unfortunately, down goes the bamboo, but down goes the Slosher. A jump coming on in. One was able to sneak in. Are they going to score that in time? Yes, they will. But unfortunately, that's going to be 3 players down. It's just a Sword left alive, trying to stay alive, especially because not only do they have a lot of clam economy, but they have special. Unfortunately, trying to take that 1v1 and turn into a 2v1 very quickly. Unfortunate there. Stamper will go down. You are going to see that brush be a little sneaky up in mid. Yeah. Going to try to go for one. They will. That gets rid of the Charger. And this is the type of flank opportunity you were looking for, especially if you're on Memento Mori. Getting rid of that backline helps just a little bit longer. But the aggression from Melodic Blue secures a 2 power climb push. Make it 3 with this jump. And more jumps coming.
I'm gonna be honest, Damp set that up so well, but the rest of Memento Mori could not even go in with it. They were just stuck, so the whole opportunity was just gone as soon as the leader was picked off, because Lucio was able to quickly turn and pick off Damp, and then it was just kind of game over on the platform from there on. And the Melodic Blue just took control and had all of the clams they could, and had one of these remarkable pushes just like they did in Game 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, just memory hitting you right away with how that was just the Clan Blitz game, but before. Oh, down goes their Zap to a fortunate splat bomb there, so that's gonna unfortunately bring things going back with, because they do have that cooler up, making it quick work here. You are seeing Momentum Mori trying to apply more pressure on the side, but again, 2 players going down immediately, and a Kraken out on the field for Melodic Blue, just applying more pressure, just trying to find out any players that might be around. And again, Melodic Blue set up once more for another push. The clam economy is so strong. Momentum Mori is really gonna have to find an opportunity to get out of this little bit of a struggle set they're in right now.
Yeah, like I said, well, they picked up the blaster and the slosher. That's 3. Ooh. It's just the leader left. Memento Mori just coming around there, and I have no idea how that happened. All I see is full control here, and they've got clams on the side, but these tri-strikes going to try to buy some time for the Melodic Blue to come back in. And it looks like Damp here trying to find a way around, trying to see if they can find a pick on the Slosher or anything, but does end up getting pinched. And right as it happens, of course, the strikes were long enough to stall for the Melodic Blue to come back in effectively. Damp wasn't able to get a pick there, which was unfortunate, and got pinched on it. Now it just completely turned around, Cactus, right in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, I was watching that top section, the Slosher came off of that ink rail and was able to get 2 amazing picks, just like that player being pretty much felt like sniped out of the sky. I mean, that was just truly an incredible turnaround, and that's what this mid-game feels like right now. A lot of turnaround. A nice charger shot gets one right before Friends can land, and it's just not going to be enough. And I want to point out, by the way, not only is Momentum Array now delay wiped, but they had no power clamp because they jumped it in and lost it. So they kind of have to have Melodic Blue score here. But with all those points being scored and a Kraken to finish the job on any players remaining, a couple more points to be scored here might be the end of Momentum Array if Melodic Blue could just secure a couple more points. But I don't think so. They have to reset.
They are given a power clam at this point, Cactus, which does help out Memento Mori. But the question is now, are they going to be able to win the fights that are about to happen? Damp has already been picked off on the side by the Blaster. It looks like they're trying to get it. They are able to technically trade it back. Overtime has begun. This is where now the whole set is determined. Can Memento Mori make it in and trigger overtime? It looks like the clam was passed while the zip goes in. They're able to get it. They are able to score. 3 members are now down on the side of the Melodic Blue. More clams are coming in. Still down. Looks like they're still being able to find picks on the side. Damp going to try to find these clams. They are still going. Damp trying to throw clams to other members. There's still people going down. This is possible, but the Blaster got control. They let the Blaster escape, but Damp is trying to stay alive in the top corner, but can't quite do it. The jump comes in. Esper does get a pick, but can't do anything else. That was a very, very close comeback. And oh my goodness, the whole phrase just like, you either go or it's done. They just about got it done. And bravo for just about getting that done. Wow. I was like, the power's there. They have the possibility to do this. They were finally getting the picks they needed. And this is the thing that Melodic Blue didn't want to happen, because I said it earlier this set. If the Melodic Blue lets Memento Mori have any kind of power, that is a comp you don't want to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's where it finally showed.
It's just a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a hold, and pressure is all they needed just for Damp to get on it and score pretty much all those power clips they had to their name. I think it was 6 or 7. If they finished scoring that, I mean, they would have had it. But, oh my goodness, you could only hold them for so long, especially when you're playing an area like that with a Blaster that's just going to either hit incredible directs or use AoE to their advantage and get every pick on that map. And it just it was such an incredible comeback attempt, and I was honestly so hoping for it, because that would have been one for the books.
And it was, like you mentioned, it was fully possible. Damp just about saved that up there. And I mean, not even just Damp, but the entire team. You could see just the entirety of Memento Mori. It was like, if we're gonna do this, we gotta do it now. And you saw it happen right then and there. And Damp just about able to get those last few in. And of course, they had the jumps coming back. Even Esper got a pick on the jump in, too. And just imagine how much that could have just impacted. It's right there. It was just the end of both Clams games, and Memento Mori just kind of went at it. And through the others, like, still back and forth team fights. We may see the scoreboard having the Melodic Blue at 5-1, but of course, watching these games, it tells you another story of how much fighting was done in the neutral games of this set.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Debbie, like the set score does not tell the full story of the match, because that was an incredible back and forth every single game along the way. I mean, there wasn't one dull moment during that entire set where you were just like, that's the game, that's the set, it's how it is. But now both these teams brought it all out. Huge props to them as well. constantly kind of changing their comps up, seeing what's going to work, what doesn't work, adjusting every little piece here and there, and it's still working. I mean, that was incredible.
That was phenomenal. But again, congrats to the Melodic Blue for winning this week 2 match, and bravo, Memento Mori, for giving it your all towards the end there with everything that you had. It was solid effort.
Yeah, I mean, that was honestly just so beautiful to see. And, you know, congrats again to them for securing that win on there for the Melodic Blue, now making them 2-0 in their LUTI run so far on a very nice win streak, hoping to keep that going further. And, of course, for Memento Mori, 1-1, still an opportunity to keep a win alive and make it to playoffs.
It is, but I believe that is it for us, Cactu, as
Yes.
we are going to be passing on the mic to Skep and Sofa King, who are going to be casting a Division 2 match, which is Magnolia versus Duck.
I'm sorry, just the Duck profile picture is killing me. I'm all in favor of it. But that's right, Devius. That's going to be it for you and I. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at DeviDoovie or on Twitch at Devi_Doovie, just because I couldn't change it, so it got stuck to that. How about you, Cactu? The person who doesn't stop streaming because you have a challenge going and won't?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel right there with the name change. You can find me on Twitch pretty much streaming every single day, as I have the challenge of myself and the goal of streaming every single day of 2025. That will be at GlitchCactus1, and you can find me on Blue Sky and the YouTubes at GlitchCactus. But, Debbie, that's going to do it for us here on LUTI tonight. For those watching, do not go anywhere. And a very exciting Division 2 match is underway. Coming at you shortly.
Season 1 of the Stronghold Beginners Academy is coming to a close. This time around, we've created 15 new teams and given them guidance, mentoring and coaching throughout the last 2 months. You may recognize some of these teams from LUTI or LU level tournaments, but you're probably wondering, who are the teams? How good are they? Well, we're glad you asked. This Sunday, we will be hosting the Academy Showcase event, where you can watch these new teams compete against each other for the title of Valedictorian of the Stronghold Beginners Academy, and even a Sendu badge. So tune in to our livestream on Twitch and YouTube at 2 PM Eastern Time, where you can watch these teams duke it out. We hope to see you there. It'll be a good one, trust me.
We've had plenty of great Splatoon locals that took place in 2024, spanning all across the United States. Champions have been crowned from coast to coast, the Great Lakes, and the South. These winners, however, never had an opportunity to face each other. What if in 2025, we took this to the next level. Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown, a tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament. The best part is, you have an opportunity to play. In the early months of 2025, 8 locals will act as qualifiers for the LAN Championship Showdown, including Big Dapple in New York City, New York.
The game!
Bouillabaisse in San Jose, California. Chai Shoals in Chicago, Illinois.
Pretty hard though. Yeah, it's like that.
Gatorland in Gainesville, Florida.
It's just, oh, it's a wipeout, and that might be 8 points.
H-Town Splashdown in Houston, Texas. New England in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, they fell off the. Oh my God!
Sea Battle in Seattle, Washington.
It's a wipeout!
Sunset Surge in Arizona. Win at one of these locals, you get an automatic bid to participate in the LAN Championship Showdown in April 2025, streamed on Splatoon Tourney. Be on the lookout for advertisements from the local closest to you regarding their qualifier. Who will come out on top?
This has been Sunset Surge 2024. This has been the most hype I've ever been in a long time. Well, I'm happy to hear, man. I'm happy to hear.
Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown. A tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
Oh, I think they got it. Oh,
That's the game! That's monkey. Oh my God.
Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown. A tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
Kick down the clock, all 4 of them
Two,
alive.
one,
Shoot
that's
picks.
it. Put one behind the
Oh,
tool. Can they get something too?
The best part is, you have an opportunity to play.
Oh!
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 That's
all the marbles!
That's how it's on. Oh my God.
Pick up
Oh,
the
it's a lot of
Rainmaker.
control. He might just get it here. They
Allowing
get it.
them to take
Just
the lead.
barely. You're gonna get blocked by the
You gotta go! You gotta go! No!
It's up to Red to recap the zone all on her own. And they get
Just
it.
like
Welcome back! Nobody's got the
down. The
cast.
zip caster gets 2.
He gets 2.
Who will come out on top? Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown, a tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
And the Tri-Strike King too! With Kronos coming in and following up with the third, that is the wipeout going with 10 seconds left to go!
Good evening, splatters, and welcome back to LUTI tonight. We've had a day over here at Splatoon Tourney, chock full of outstanding games, but we've got one more humdinger of a match here for you. My name is Sofa King, your couch surfing ride or die on the mic. And who's that over there commentating with me tonight?
Hello, my name is Skep, and I'm so excited to close out the evening with our Division 2 set between Magnolia and Duck.
Truly epic team names here in Div 2. So we're getting towards the top of mid-level with Div 2. These two teams are kind of competing to see, hey, who's going to be the first one of us to break into top level? Skep, do you have any favorites in that regard?
Well, I mean, I'm partial to the established teams. Magnolia being a team that's been around for well over a year now, sticking it out through thick and thin. And you love to see teams that have stuck together for quite a while, persevere, take their L's as a badge of honor, and stand back up to get some dubs. On the side of Duck, we got a pickup of some very respectable players. A lot of us are going to recognize Stormingly. This is an Oceania team. It seems like they're all friends, but they don't really play together too often. So that pickup team that decided, hey, we're gonna sign up for LUTI, we loosely know each other, and we're gonna get our div and walk out and see what happens.
Yeah, you've got some very interesting OCE players if you're a fan of that scene. Truly some icons of Australia here. Shockwave in particular is one of the best players to watch out for in Australia. But we're going to load in here and we see, Squeezer, big old chip comp from Magnolia. On the other end, a little bit of sword and knot action.
And this is on the side of Magnolia. You see Teamster on their signature junior. That's going to be a great weapon here on Splatzone's Mako Mart to control either of those stacks. We know that here on this map that our competitors like to control the opponent's stack, and Bubble is going to make that a lot easier in a run and down comp like the side of Duck has.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because both of these teams are kind of living off of heavy fighting, heavy chip. Going to be interesting to see how that develops as these behaviors change. Two will go down for Duck right away. Telly forced to kind of scamper backwards, holding ground up here up front. Now, Skep, is there one weapon that sticks out to you that could be a game changer in this one?
Definitely the Neo Machine on the side of Magnolia. This map, you really want to try and stagger your opponents before they've even had a chance to drop. While that bubble is going to give longevity, that Neo Machine is going to give them the info that they need to rotate between the halves of the maps and prepare themselves for a lockout like we see now.
Magnolia has been winning the first few fights here, as now it's on Duck to try to break back in. You've got the rain ready from the knot, but the Zuka's looking for something. Great bubble from T-Master to get a nice, I think that was a bomb pick over there to stagger Duck, and two more members of Duck will go down, leaving just Zelf on the Zuka. That zone is still ticking, Skip.
Yeah, and we see Zelf drops into that left stack, does try and take the fight, unfortunately going to lose one of their teammates as well, who comes to try and help them. We have that Neo Machine with that GG Zuka, if you can call it such, towards the end of this game as we barrel towards the 10-tick mark. We see the Stamper trying to desperately get some paint on zone here as we click down this clock. GG's, a swift and dominant KO on the side of Magnolia.
Wow, oh wow, Magnolia. That was a terrific statement game one. I mean, Duck took the zone a little bit at the beginning, but from there on out, they were just getting stagger after stagger. Some nice double, triple team play work there. Magnolia, hey, is there an advantage to that, what you were saying before, to your point, to being an established team? Does that lend them some extra chemistry?
In Duck's defense, I do really think that there's something to be said about a map that does it. You have to be prepared for your drops on this map, right? Particularly, you want to know that you have backup. It's a very easy map to feed on, and when the opponent has the advantage of knowing where you are, especially that machine set up on that left side, like we see here, that's such a difficult thing to push into, especially with bombs rolling from that junior.
If you're a fan of Splatoon Tourney lands, you're going to recognize that name, Parachu, on Magnolia, who is a player who has podiumed multiple times at H-Town Splashdown for our Texas natives in chat. That is a name that you'll know. But Duck, on the back foot, this is a place where they have been recently. They did fall in week 1 to Casino Soul in their group. So they're looking to maybe try and get some momentum in the set going forward. Now, Skep, on Scorch Gorge Clam Blitz, what's the most important way to build that momentum in the first minute of the game?
Well, I believe that Rainmaker Gorge last week was the only game that Duck won. I do recall that it was a Rainmaker match, but I'm not sure if it was Gorge or Museum. On this map, with that pencil, getting that set up in elbow on Magnolia's half of the map would certainly help them sustain a push. We see that Swagness now having that Nautilus to clear that top right area above that basket with that Storm is also going to be an advantage, given that they do have the range differential here compared to that edit.
Duck's got the early specials going on. Not sure that the Not was able to find anything quite yet. Telly's going to get everybody juiced up. First pick as the squeezer go down, the machine goes down, and Duck's going to be rolling in on its ramp, getting another pick off screen. T-Master kind of coming back to defend, but the first push, the first blood, is going to be for Duck.
The Duck underneath that basket, they do have enough clams to sustain, but we do see Teamster going in for that right drop in order to get a flank. Keep in mind, that is the junior flanking, dropping right in order to pinch that elbow and get their team back into mid. And look how quickly they've tossed this map here and are preparing for a push of their own.
Yeah, they just got that ball online. Nothing really aside from that, but that's okay, because Duck didn't get anything much either. The edit's kind of coming out with the juice to keep everybody sustained up front. This next fight is going to be so crucial if they see Zalf trying to go around the side there. Dripsy's trying to add to that score. Skep, how important is it getting below 60 here on Clamblitz?
Frankly, not very. Control of the elbow matters so much more. We saw how quickly Magnolia crossed from their half of the map to Duck's half of the map, and that's exactly what Duck would do if they went in, tried to get a couple more clams in, and ended up going down because of that. Now we see Duck burning their specials in order to re-entry here. We do end up in a 3-3 situation, but the question is how they're going to sustain, given that they had to burn their specials in order to re-engage from a lockout.
Oof, and we see Duck go down up front as Magnolia is able to maintain control of mid. We see a couple of members kind of scampering around searching for their next pick. I think we're special building on both sides. Duck seems to have the mild advantage there. Are they going to be able to break back into mid? No! The Stamper will go down up front along the ramp, and still if you're Magnolia, you're kind of just waiting for biding your time. Look at all those clams they have, Skip.
Yeah, and that is a lot of sustaining power when we see Teamster being close to yet another bubble. They're also going to have the Zuka to take advantage of the fact that Duck is really clumped up in that elbow. We end up 3-3, but Teamster going in, getting another trade. Still one Zuka to show for it. Again, trying to move Telly. Telly doing such a fantastic job of holding that elbow and giving their teammates time to respond. And now Magnolia having burned through all of those specials just to get this one power clam in.
Oh boy, but three down for Duck. Just the Knot is going to be trying to run away from the squeezer here as all the other clams are being poured in up front. Magnolia has it sub 30 with members going back to get more. You see Zalf trying to contest the basket up front as well as the rain, but they're still loading things in, still numbers even on either side, and they've got enough clams to win the game, does Magnolia, as 5 is going to come in to dump in a couple more, and Magnolia will get the knockout once again with a dominant performance on game 2.
It really came down to how well Magnolia was rising and falling with the tides of their push in order to not go completely down while maintaining control of Duck's elbow. We saw them back give up a push, I believe 2 or 3 times in order to be able to really secure that KO. I knew that, to be honest, I knew it was over the moment that we just had the Stamper and the Not alive, both of their specials, and no teammates to play off of them.
Yeah, I agree. It just seemed as though, I don't think Duck played poorly at all. It just seemed as though the special coordination was not quite lined up for when they wanted to push. So that was making it a little bit difficult to get their feet out from under them. But you've got to hand it to Magnolia. They've looked super, super strong through 2 games.
I have an old saying for that one, Sofa King. A lot of smoke and no fire. We saw Duck using those specials and not being able to capitalize in order to continue to snowball, to get more than one player down, to get paint down on the map, to move forward, and then maybe have something else to follow up with it.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about Magnolia, the growth that we've seen from them over the past year, like you mentioned, they've been a team for about a year, which in esports terms can be an eternity. But the growth we've seen from them is amazing. Last LUTI season, they were in Div 4, just kind of getting their toes wet in mid-level, and they went 5-0 in their set. They went gangbusters through Div 4. They did lose in the first round of playoffs, but they arrived on the scene with a bang, and now they've been rewarded through their performance lately, all the way up to Div 2. Skep, it seems like they're not even losing a beat. It's like, all right, yeah, same as before, same as Div 4. We're just going to be a wrecking ball once again.
I have a lot of respect for the players on the side of Magnolia. They're all level-headed people from what I've seen as an outside perspective, meeting a couple of them over the years. And sticking together as a group of, I believe, mostly adults, making their schedules work over the course of the year, I think is something to applaud.
We see the Squeezer coming back out, largely the same comps on both sides. The Not From Swagness has still been a staple on the side of Duck here. Opening up on Ship-Shaped Tower. This one can get snowbally. If you start rolling that tower into the court, we see the opening specials juice coming out, and we're looking for our first pick, Skip, but we're largely in neutral for now.
I actually think that Nautilus from Swagness is going to do a lot of heavy lifting here, because you are going to have those point sensors to figure out where your opponents are after you wipe and you're trying to re-engage and decide which stack to take first. As well as those storms on where Zalf is standing, that can just be such a powerful area to clear with that storm. Despite all that being said, it's Magnolia's feet on the tower here, with just under a minute having gone, and we have Azuka online.
Yeah, we need a little more paint up front in the court as there's trades back and forth. But man, it seems like Magnolia just never has a numbers disadvantage. Whenever one goes down, they manage to trade it out somehow. They're getting the jumps here still in mid, and look at this sustainability. Let's speak on that a little bit. How are they able to just keep their feet under them in mid so much of the time?
It really comes down to those team fights. I was a little bit worried for Magnolia there when I saw them grouping up on that right stack, but now I'm feeling the other way around. We see that the members of Duck grouped up around that top right stack trying to clear it via brute force, and they paid for that with Magnolia's chip damage that wants their opponents to group up. We have that bubble now, and we're working our way with that tower through court, and look at all of that paint down in court, particularly for the Squeezer to take advantage to.
Specials are ready to go. The junior will go down up front, traded back out. Magnolia in a slight disadvantage here, but again, traded back out as Zalf will rush forward and put a stop to this push. A trade out again is a long wipe for Magnolia thanks to that Zalf clean pick, and Duck has a chance to get something going here, but immediate trade outs again, Skep. This is crazy.
Now at least they have Telethia on that tower. Not for long again. Teamster on that junior, dropping and taking the fights, getting a pick and a half with that assist. Granted, the tower has not gotten to that second checkpoint. We know how quickly this map snowballs, so realistically, Duck needs one good push, and they still have plenty of time to do it. They have been defending very well, given Magnolia hasn't gotten to a push that would end all be all.
Dripsy gets a just react Zuka laced into the spawn as that'll try to facilitate the tower moving forward. Zalf trading out another great Zuka shot though. 2v2 here, T-Master against Swagness is going to lose that one. The Knot defensively holding the tower, but you see Parachu, the edit, positioned fascinatingly on the side here to get jumps back into their teammates. I'm not sure if the tower's going to move much further. What does Parachu do here?
Honestly, buying time. Yeah, well, they need it. They're probably close to cooler, I presume, jumping back to the team like that. Yeah, about halfway. So, but buying time up on that top left, just saying, hey, you have to ignore, look at me. You have to try and clear me. Otherwise, the threat of getting jumps in from your Feedy Junior or that Neo machine, that's something dangerous, right?
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, you've got to be careful of that, but if you've got a good lead, the machine can feed a little as a treat. As Duck is now pushing with a Stamper behind them. The Stamper will go down, giving numbers back to Magnolia as they get another one up front, another, and that's going to be a wipeout, partially by Dripsy, partially by other members, but Skip, these team fights, it just creates such a defensive wall for Magnolia.
You mentioned briefly earlier that all of the members are staying alive. And in a chip damage comp, your comp inherently becomes weaker the fewer players you have standing to combo that chip off of each other. So really Magnolia's success is going to come off of that survivability between the squeezer with that splash wall, the edit, jumping out like we saw Para doing, and here they are reaping the rewards of their patience, reaping the rewards of their teamwork, having cleared that second checkpoint, which gives them an additional point of defense here, as Duck at this point has to start preparing for a deeply sustained push out of their own spawn.
Yeah, at this point it feels like it's gonna take a miracle, right? With how dominant Magnolia has been, but Duck has the specials on their side. A Zipcaster and a Zuka coming out again. Zuka, 2, 3. Oh, the third shot is canceled, and once again, Duck is 2 down, 3 down with 10 seconds to go. That is almost certainly the game, as the pencil will go down as well, creating a long wipe. Magnolia has this in the bag with the victory Zukas coming out, and they have a dominant 3-0 position in this set.
And the booyah out from the Stamper, knowing that indeed was GG. Can you smell the confidence from here?
Oh yeah. Oh, it stinks in a good way. I can smell it for sure.
There was a point where we saw T-Stir drop and take a fight. I forget what it was. It was with the Nautilus, right? Right here.
This one right here, yeah.
I was like, bro, or they, them, my non-binary pal, whatever you prefer, is cooking. They're lost in the sauce. They feel like they can diff the world. And you love to see it. I hope that they don't get punished for it, because that kind of confidence, man, you lose your special at the wrong time, and things can go really awry here for Duck. Can they play off of the fact that, Magnolia's playing a little greedy?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to, right? The alternative is that their own mental starts to think, oh man, 0-3, like that number starts to get too big in their heads. It's not insurmountable. Nothing is insurmountable in LUTI. And just going back to last week, Magnolia, on paper, defeated Wavebreaker 5-4. But what that final score doesn't show you is that Magnolia was down in that set 2-4 and had to rip off their last 3 games to win that set. So it can go back and forth. LUTI sets are so long. It really is never over until it's over. And there's no other mode in this game that can more quickly flip momentum than Rainmaker, which is what we're about to see.
Rainmaker, Duck, unfortunately went 1-5 last week. But the one game that they did take was Rainmaker. So can they take this game? Can they cheese something out? And then potentially, Magnolia, when you're playing hot like that, and when you're that confident, and you have that much energy, and you lose something, perhaps in a cheeky way, that can tank a lot of players' mental. So maybe you gotta watch the poison here.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of have to temper your confidence with mindfulness, which thus far Magnolia has been doing a very good job of. But as much as 0-3 can be a big number for Duck, 3-0 can be a big number for Magnolia. And those junior plays can maybe get a little more bold, and we can have a few more interesting things going on. But, I mean, overall, I think it's been a well-played set on both sides. Magnolia just super impressed with everything.
Yeah, I'm impressed with running a chip comp in 2025 into a pencil and playing it so well. And that's something that Bubble. That's why we see Decav being so dominant, right? With that Bubble, because it's that mid-range distance. I'm gonna space you out, and also your pencil's a lot less effective because I can brute force an area. I'm seeing that on a junior, but a junior that is willing to drop the Thunderdome and take their ones. Oof.
That junior's like the Chihuahua of junior players, right? Like barking so loud as we see a 52 coming out on the side of Duck here. That's gonna change things up a little bit instead of that knot. Do you think it's a good option?
I see why they would, particularly for locating players on either side of the spinner when you're attempting to push. However, that's something that a Nautilus can do well, and there are just so many good storm lineups on here. I gotta wonder what was the motivating decision behind switching to that, particularly when not already outranges that junior and that machine.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? They're clearly going for a more offensive look, but it has not worked out for them so far as the 52 is going to be last, trading somebody out, but that's going to be a long wipe. Defensive stop after the check is broken, but Duck is loading up on the back foot again 1 minute into this game.
Yeah, but they do have control of their own plat, which is it means that Magnolia is going to have to create some kind of opening here in order to get near that Rainmaker again. We do see them backing and hedging their bets and opting to wait and see what Duck is going to do first. And that's exactly the kind of behavior that you want to see in a chip damage comp. You don't want any individual player overextending. Everybody should still be within each other's operating range. And we see the Stamper go down because of it. Look how quickly Teamster turns to help their teammates. And here on this left side, we got another player shooting at that Stamper, the Edit, shooting right in that direction. Beautiful team play there, taking their ones.
That was crazy. And then off camera, yeah, another double, like you said, as it's just the pencil. The Rain's going to be diving forward. Parachu is starving for those points, getting all the way to 36. You want a little more on Museum Rain, but it looks like Magnolia is going to be loading up once again. However, T-Master's going to be going down up front. The Edit we saw just is respawning now, so let's see if they keep mid through this slight disadvantage, and they're able to pinch that 52 in a great team moment there, and they're right back on track.
It's something as particular and skill-oriented like that Squeezer. Squeezer players can't just drop into a match and start diffing people. That's just, I know people get that impression from Squeezer, but it really is such a weapon that has to be enabled. And we see that coming out from Five, playing off of their teammates, looking in their general direction, and that type of respect is reciprocated on Magnolia.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they know that Five's going to come through when it matters most, as we see two Zukas up for Magnolia that can make a lot of noise if we can get some point sensors down. Whale coming out to try and stymie the Zukas a little bit, but the 52's going to roll up and get a nice trade. Juice online for Duck, but again, they've lost numbers until South is going to get a Zuka double. Traded out by Dripsy, who's trying to hold in mid, trying to solo. But again, that confidence, I love the confidence, but it may have Magnolia a tad staggered here.
Yeah, Para goes in, tries to get the pick on Telethia, does get traded out for that, and they are going to be punished. What did we see there? We saw one or two members of Magnolia going down at a time, and then they didn't have those damage combos to work with. And Doc was able to keep moving forward with that. Opposite situation here now, though. It is just Telethia. Telethia, the pen player, forced to jump out, leaving Magnolia in control of the fish, and presumably no one in mid to stop them.
Yeah, that was kind of a unfortunate wipe at that time, so the next fight is going to be critical. Parachu, we already know, is aggressive with this Rain. One going down up front, trying to get more, as the 52's going to dive into mid, getting flanked by the Stamper as well. Slight numbers for Magnolias now. It's only 5 left. Duck will get the wipe, and now, with no checkpoint in the way, they have a huge chance to steal this game.
Yeah, and they are making that jump. We do see Para underneath that basket area. That's a good place for that Edit in order to pre-fire the Rain. Something, I think it's a bomb, does get the pick on the Rain. 2 members down on the side of Duck, and those two type of weapons, those are not weapons that run forward and make space. Those are weapons that hold and get jumps. So we are going to see at least one more team fight here on this plat.
Well, that's a slightly early bubble, I think, especially with the spot about to happen. But it facilitates some movement up front, because I think it's a long wipe with Zalf coming in. That is going to be an even longer wipe, as Magnolia, with a terrific defensive stop, will grab the Rain, and ooh, look at this. They're going to the happy little stolly corner of the museum, where they just get to look at the exhibits and do nothing else and bide their time trying to get another pick. But the Stamper, the last hope for Duck, is going to come in and pick the Rain. They don't have anybody around here to grab it, but lovely play.
Getting the pick on that Stamper's recall means that Duck has no one left in mid, no one to get that pop, and more importantly, grab that fish. Magnolia here setting up for their opponent's death throws as we barrel towards the end of this game. The Zuka comes out, it's just a 52. What does he do? GG's for Magnolia, 4-0, and one more game to go to call this a clean sweep.
Now, if you're Mikun on that Stamper, you clip the part where you did the 1v4 Rainmaker kill with your zip, and then you clip out the part where you lost and you tell your grandkids that you came back and won. Because that was a pretty darn cool play. It was just unfortunate that the jump got called there. Either way, though, I mean, we've just got to reiterate that I don't think Duck is playing poorly. I think that Magnolia's chip and their level of team play, I mean, they're just winning most every neutral engagement in these games.
Well, that's what their comp wants to do, right? There were moments there I was like, oh man, this is why Duck won the Rainmaker game last week. Particularly when we saw them keeping Magnolia 2 members down, like right here off of Zach's play or Zelf's play, they get these picks and then it's consistently 1 or 2 down from that point on, and that's how they were able to break this checkpoint. I respect the swap to 52. I'm a little convinced. They got me.
Yeah, I think the 52 is a really nice pick. I think they should keep it because there were some occasions where the 52 was able to flank with that Stamper and was able to kind of emulate a little bit of what Magnolia was doing and was otherwise a great presence up front. So I think, you're at match point here now. You got to avoid the sweep. You got to at least get your foot in the door and try and say, hey, we didn't get swept. We're still alive, especially since they lost last week. You don't want to go 0-2 on a sweep and a 1-5. Got to try and make something happen on Mahi zones. Do you keep the 52 or go back to not?
For me, what I think the 52 was actually doing was putting up those splash walls and turning. What is Magnolia doing? They're taking their 2v1s and using that splash wall to say, hey, this person for you that's generating crossfire and trying to back you up, actually they're irrelevant. Or actually, you're irrelevant.
Yeah.
And then forcing that into a 1v1 situation, and let's face it, 52 is gonna have the advantage in one of those, and it just let them play so much faster. Despite that, we're instead seeing, I believe that's Stormingly switching to that custom blaster here on Splatzone's Mahi. How do you feel about that?
Interesting. So you lose a little bit of paint, and early on Mahi, those walls are kind of nice. So it's an interesting choice, but they've got to be confident in it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. As we see our opening engagement here, the blaster will go down. 2 will go down as a swarm of yellow of Magnolia is going in, and Telethia is forced to jump out. Early control for Magnolia. They want this sweep, Skip.
Yeah, and I see why they would switch to that custom blaster as well. So yeah, where you have that splashdown for the junior's bubble. But this is not a junior that's playing passive. This is a junior that is going to run at you, and they are going to run at that blaster. So with this Zuka that we have, we know that Duck is either going to drop left or they're going to drop right, or in some sort of split. And Dripsy calls it. They nearly get the other player on the far left out from left field, right? No penalty points. This is looking dangerous here.
Yeah, no more trades you're seeing up front. You're just seeing clean picks from Magnolia. This is kind of like what we saw in that first Zones game, and that's really letting them grind these points down virtually uncontested. The Blaster's going to be coming in, getting a nice trade out there, but again, not a huge foothold here to even approach this zone. Zelf getting a nice Zuka pick, but I don't know that they'll have time, but they do! How did that flip blue?
Oh my gosh, by the skin of their teeth, able to cap that zone. I believe it was the Zuka paint and maybe some stray paint from a pick in order to be able to cap that. We do see that it's just 5 on that blaster, taken out by Stormingly. Other way around, Stormingly on the blaster, taking out 5. They have that splashdown. They're trying the shark here, get a cheeky pick and prevent Magnolia from playing off of that pick, but with those point sensors out from that Neo machine, that blaster's job is so much harder.
Oh, wow, and the blaster does go down with splashdown there as T-Master is going to be trying to avoid this Zuka here. Oh, Zalf is going to go down, the blaster jumping back in, trying to get another pick. Just the pencil left for Duck. 28, though, they grinded those points pretty darn close. They're going to have to take another shot at it.
Yeah, this is a map where you want your quick re-engagement, but you want that re-engagement to go exactly as planned. On this map where these drops are so committal, and once you drop, you really have no room to back, that can lead to a lot of unsuccessful pushes if you're not prepared. We do see Magnolia taking their time, but the Zipcast are going to get that pick on the edit, and that's going to get us closer towards Duck maintaining control.
Man, it looked like Duck could have flipped there, but they just decided to pursue fights instead, which maybe that'll come back to haunt them. Numbers even. They do get it, though, with the help of the splashdown, and now Magnolia's 2 down. Their 2 remaining members have to scamper backwards as we see the Zuka come out. 1 will go down by the pit. Parachu here is trying to help their team reset with some juice, but man, 1 lost fight and this lead could flip the other way. The Stamper going down will start to help. Another trade out here, dancing around the bubble is Stormingly, trying to use that blaster to slay, but will go down instead. Duck maintains the zone. Slight numbers disadvantage as they keep getting picked up front.
Yeah, we see Magnolia slowly working their way into zone, opting to take those picks and be as safe as possible before going in for that cap. And look how much paint Magnolia has down on either sides of the zone. That's not paint that they just put down, that is paint that they had before they capped. Knowing that Duck is going to want to drop on them, the splashdown does cap the zone, but still, you're completely surrounded by yellow ink. At this point, the zone is just keeping you in the game.
Nice Zuka pick there from 5 to get a double. It's just the blaster and the splashdown left. The blaster will be picked mid-splashdown. Magnolia will retain the zone. They still have a ways to go as we see Zelf getting picked by the Zuka on the side to stagger Duck. A huge stagger with only 1 minute left. Now Duck has to decide, do we try and go in now or do we have the patience to wait? The blaster coming in to try to contest will get a nice pick in the middle of the zone, but another teammate going down off to the side. Magnolia slightly losing out on numbers here as it looks like 5 is going to get pinched, traded out with another teammate. Oh my gosh, Skep, this is crazy.
I'm concerned. I didn't see the diligence that we've seen from Magnolia out for the past several games. And the fact that they opted to take those fights, knowing that they have this massive advantage. We do see that the junior clutching up and getting those picks, but that's exactly what we want to see the splashdown used for from Stormingly. They get that junior. Magnolia popping that cooler, the most aggressive cooler position that we've seen so far, with Duck still relatively in control of this zone. It looks to me like we're heading for overtime.
I think we could be numbers tight up front as the blaster has been so crucial to winning this set, but gets caught out, traded with Magnolia. You've got to hold on to this zone. No, the zone is about to flip. 1 member will go down of Duck. They're in dire straits, but they're able to get the edit, and 3 will go down. It's just Zelf who isn't able to paint by themselves. Magnolia with the 5-0 sweep.
Breathtaking play from the end there at Magnolia, from Duck. Honestly, I was convinced that Duck was going to have that game, but it was 1 clean Zuka out from Magnolia getting those 2 picks. We saw the crossfire. Once it was just the pen painting the zone, and the bubble came out. Cheeky little bomb rolled. Right there, we see the Zuka getting 1 on that left side, the other Zuka getting another on the right, and then this bubble. How do you move that junior in that situation when you're a single shot being run at? What do you do? There wasn't much to be done, and Duck going down here in week 2. Magnolia showing their stuff. Really
Magnolia,
impressive.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're sitting in terrific position in their group, sitting at 2-0, and the team that they beat week 1 already beat their week 2 opponent, so you can kind of theorize that Magnolia could be one of the tougher teams in their group. This is still early, but I really want to give a shout out to Duck, because being down 3-0, there's 2 different ways that this set could progress, right? You could kind of throw in the towel, give in to Magnolia's confidence, and let them run roughshod all over you. Or you could adapt and grow and start to take advantage of what they were doing, which, despite the sweep, we did see Duck doing in games 4 and 5.
We did. We saw adjustments being made. Right? When you're down 0-3, you can think to yourself, oh, if this is GG's, it's over, or you can acknowledge that something needs to change. And we did see the attempts at that, switching to the 52, which did do significant work, and then Stormingly again switching to that custom blaster, which frankly nearly won them the game.
Oh yeah, I agree. The sub-in of Stormingly was completely, it led to a very, very positive change in what Duck was doing. That's not to say that Swagness on the Knot was not doing well. That's to say that I think in order to ruin that chip comp, they needed to have Stormingly come in and just be a wrecking ball slayer into what Magnolia was trying to do. And credit to Magnolia, you're not getting that sweep if you don't adjust and make sure Stormingly's accounted for. So just really terrific work by Magnolia. And hey, this time next season, Div 1, Div X.
Ooh, you know what they say? It depends who signs up.
Yeah, true.
But no, I'm really impressed with. I've known Magnolia is good for a long time, but it's nice to actually see it in action. They're not a team that you see playing that end up, in the Great White streams and where you catch them on stream. It's just not something that happens for them. And that could be scheduling, or it could be just luck. Their matches don't get pulled. But it's nice to see a team that has stuck together for so long. It genuinely impressed me to a degree that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, it's lovely to see, and I'm starting to think that if they're not being shown in these SOS streams, it's rigged. It's rigged against. Start showing Magnolia. I want to see more of them.
I'm not the CO anymore. I'm not the CO anymore.
You gotta work the clout, spend some brownie points, and say, all right, let's get these guys on the television.
Pass it forward.
Well, Skep, where can the good people of chat find you between now and your next appearance here on LUTI Tonight?
You can find me playing my own LUTI set on Sunday on my Twitch, and you can find me posting very random things that might not have anything to do with Splatoon on Blue Sky.
Exciting stuff, exciting stuff. My name is Sofa King, no socials at the moment, but you can find me right here on LUTI Tonight. Folks, thank you so much for sticking with us through a broadcast day that began 6 hours ago with a terrific Div X set and concluded just now with Magnolia taking it home. We might be done for today, but week 2 of LUTI Tonight is only halfway done. Tune in tomorrow and Sunday for even more dynamite sets. We've been Sofa King, Skepidillions. We'll see you next time.
Stay fresh.
The thing with these lower divs, though, is that you typically see people who are playing weapons that work for them instead of trying to conform to something that, like, oh, well, this is what the meta is. You need to have you feel comfortable with, and then just find 3 other people who can find a way to make it work with what they like to do. Right now, Sleepy Squid. Nice splashdown placement, realizing there's a couple of players stuck in one spot is Park. Doesn't get the extended kind of carry.
Sleepy Squid's moving forward here, and it seems like they will with that hammer.
Hammer getting buffed recently, which in my mind, Hammer's been buffed 20 times. This thing's fixed before. I'll believe it when I actually see it. Working out pretty well.